2022 and the Future of Tourism Summit. My name is Anne Schmid. I'm the events coordinator, and I'm super happy that you all came here today and that we finally meet each other in person again. And we just want to enjoy the next 3 days with all of you and hear interesting and inspiring stories. Welcome. I would like to introduce, thank you. I would like you to have a look at our house's rules. It's really simple, and just please follow them. And I would like to introduce our founder and president, Mr. Salman, on stage. Welcome, Albert, and thanks for making this event possible for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. I'm so pleased to be here. People ask me, like, is this your first time in Athens? It started already at the airport and the taxi driver. It's probably my 20th time in Athens and my 20th time in Greece in general. I'm really a fan as a traveler to be in Greece, not only in Athens, but also island hopping and exploring the mountains and the friendly and hospitable people and the great nature, landscape and culture has made Greece to my #1 favorite holiday destination. So just that you know, I feel at home here. So I feel very relaxed. I have a non-scripted opening. I think let's see what I'm going to say. I'm really grateful to you that you are here also. Hopefully you also are or will become a fan of Greece in terms of enjoying a great country and their history. And also you enjoy and bring what you have from your own countries in terms of making destinations and the sector more sustainable and exchange your ideas and experience about that. And we are hoping to give 3 days of sessions, presentations, workshops and panels to allow you to take advantage of that, but also to bring your experience. Don't hesitate to share what you think is important in your questions and in your interventions and in your contributions. And many of you will speak. We'll have, I don't know how many presentations, I think more than 50. Some KPIs here. This is, I think, event number 8 also for Green Destinations events. It began in 2016 with a great event organized by the Slovenian Tourism Board and Good Place in Ljubljana, in a country that I consider our nursery, our laboratory for developing approaches to sustainable tourism. And ever since we had an annual conference, mostly live, but last 2 years remotely, they were always found useful, and we had good feedback. I hope you'll be giving us good feedback as well, good reviews after 2 years. Then we have a good host for the next year's event as well, which may be, we don't know, there's different options for the next event next year, so because we hope you'll be there as well. So we have, Alexia told us, Alexia is there, she will speak later, let's have a conference of 200 people. But there was so much interest that, sorry Alexia, we have allowed 250 to be registering, including the team. And there is 15 of the Green Destinations team here. And there is a good delegation from Greece. It could have been more, but it gave also room to 225 delegates from abroad. So that's really a big number. I've just been told, 43 countries, which are all the continents in the world except Antarctica. I don't know why they're not here, but a bit silly. I hope it's going to be a great day. I ask you to. Oh, the instruction is no more there. I have put my mobile on silent. Hope you did that as well. I hear some sounds here and there. I think we need to start, but there's something I need to do, is to thank the hosts, City of Athens, Visitor and Conference Bureau of Athens. I think Greek National Tourism Organization for giving their auspices to the whole event, and especially to the Greek event later today, and to our sponsors, which include Outdoor Active, and they will have 3 different presentations and workshops this week, and Simple View. Don't I forget anybody? I take that as a no. I now go to the scripted part. I'm very honored to have with us today Mr. Vasilis Axiotis, the Vice Mayor for Urban Buildings, Infrastructure and City Planning of the City of Athens. I could never remember that, so I need to read that. Sorry about that. Mr. Axiotis, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So, good morning and welcome to beautiful Athens. My name is Vasilis Axiotis, Vasilis Axiotis, and I'm the Vice Mayor for Urban Infrastructure, Building Infrastructure and City Planning. So, without further ado, on behalf of the Mayor of Athens, it's a great pleasure to welcome you to this beautiful city, to welcome so many thought leaders in the global tourism industry. And I'm especially grateful because you're all advocates for strategies that address climate change in the tourism sector. It's especially meaningful to be here with so many with whom they share so common goals of the mayor, of course, of our team, to move forward, to disrupt, and to take action on climate change. This is a great opportunity for us, for Athens, to expand the conversation, to not only share ideas among the stakeholders who are based in Athens. This is about the future of tourism, in which all of our organizations, institutions, and home cities across the world are deeply concerned. In Athens, our urgent concern is to make Athens into a sustainable destination. What does that mean? What does a sustainable destination also mean? Of course, we want tourism that is supported by trees and green parks, and we would like tourism businesses to recognize, of course, the value of waste reduction and energy efficiency. We also want tourism that helps to stabilize and grow our communities. We want tourism that asks visitors to support Athens while they are enjoying Athens. We want tourism which actually diversifies our economy and reserves the brain drain of the last decade. At the same time, also, we want tourism that helps us reach our goal of reducing carbon emission by 61% by 2030. All of those goals for sustainable tourism are within our reach in the city of Athens. We have already received an assessment from the Global Sustainable Tourism Council, which gave Athens an excellent rating for the progress we have made toward becoming a sustainable destination. Of course, we're not doing this work alone, and we will never achieve our goals by working alone. To give you an example of what I mean, the city of Athens has created a vehicle for private-public partnerships, PPPs, called the Athens Partnership, which has already completed many significant projects, especially the restoration and creations of dozens of city parks. So let's see where we are right now in Athens near the end of 2022. So we have already passed 2.5 years, difficult years with the pandemic, with which life was frozen, not only here in Greece, of course, but around the world. We're now ending a glorious summer season. Actually, it's not over yet. When we got to enjoy the fruits of endurance, and it's widely expected that before the end of the year, Athens will surpass the visitor traffic we saw back in our peak year, which was 2019. In other words, we will be looking at a new record. I think we can be optimistic about this trend because even while we are talking about a huge number of visitors, approximately 6.5 million arrivals just at the airport, we will not, of course, surpass the capabilities of Athens to safely and warmly welcome visitors. And the steps we're discussing today are about understanding our carrying capacity so that we can build better infrastructure that serves locals and visitors as well. We have been learning an important lesson about how to welcome visitors more safely and, of course, more responsibly. The success we have experienced during the last 4 months is due to the professional management of the pandemic and the collaboration among organizations across the public, of course, and the private sector. Through our collective efforts, we turned the crisis into an opportunity. And it is worth noting that during the pandemic, the World Health Organization selected Athens as a paradigm of good practices. For example, we cleaned the city from edge to edge, and we created a net of social solidarity and protection of our residents and visitors. So, because we invested in cleanliness during the pandemic, today we can say that Athens is cleaner than ever. Even if we haven't reached the point we want, of course, we need more to do. The city is clearer than any time since the Olympic Games back in 2004. And during the pandemic, we not only maintained our international reputation, we enriched our story, and we managed to build a new relationship with the travelers. Today, we're not only known for the Acropolis or for the Moussaka, but for our hospitality and our great food, our great Mediterranean New Age food. We are also known, of course, for the professionalism of our organization. Let's clarify, though, at this point, in order for visitors to be satisfied, first, our residents needs to be happy. We need everybody to welcome the visitors with a big smile. When we speak about our infrastructure, about cultural heritage and quality of life, our vision passes through the eyes of the Athenians. A great city to visit must first of all be a great city to live in. Our approach is holistic. There should be no distinction between infrastructure for residents and infrastructure for the Athenians, for the visitors. They must be built to the same standards, ensuring that the city is accessible for everyone, and ensuring, of course, that Athens does not become a Disneyland. For us, an important part of the puzzle of this conundrum is to encourage visitors to stay longer. Up to now, the average stay of tourists in Athens doesn't pass 2.5 days. Our goal is to lengthen their stay to 3 to 4 days and expanding that stay in all 12 months of the year. As I recall, we have this motto that we can come here to spend the weekend in January, in February, in December. It's not only from April to October. You can come here in mid-February, and spend the weekend here in Athens. So, when we talk about long-term visitors, we're talking about more walking, biking. We're talking about the need for more cool and fresh spaces. We're talking about digital services that are quick and easy to use. And we are continuing to build these apps to improve parking or even to share cultural news. We are proceeding with a long effort to rebuild our infrastructure, including the creation of pocket parks, sidewalks, road pavings, and the installation of new energy-efficient LED lighting throughout the city. We're restoring our urban lands at Lykabetos Hill, at the National Garden, and soon at the Strefi Hill. And after a long wait, we're addressing questions about accessibility by developing systems that can prevent cars from parking on top of the sidewalk ramps, and widening, of course, sidewalks so that strollers and wheelchairs and mothers with their kids can walk with plenty of space. So our goal for Athens is to be a new role model for the development in the tourism in Greece. That, of course, won't happen if visitors stay only around the Acropolis, in Plaka, in Thysio, or in Syntagma. We want visitors to move through the whole city and along routes connecting the National Archaeological Museum with the Acropolis Museum. In the coming years, we will add new destinations like the the renovated Platos Academy, the first Western university that the Western society had to showcase. An archaeological site and city park not known to a lot of the visitors, which is located at the north side of the city. So within the year, the city of Athens will start working to regenerate the green spaces of the park, to enhance the archaeological site, and then we will create the new museum of Athens. So, ladies and gentlemen, not only do we have optimism, but we have also momentum. Right now is the time of Athens. We have a direction, a steady course, and of course a vision, our mayor's vision, Ioannis' vision. While Athens looks toward the past with great, of course, respect and wonder, today we are more confident than ever that Athens, of course, belongs to the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for coming to this beautiful city of Athens. And let me just assure you that Athens is not only by daytime nice, it's cool, it's also by nighttime as well. So have a little time of the night as well. So once again, thank you, good day, and I hope all the best to your workshop and sessions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Axiotis, for welcoming us with impressive ambitions, which I hope will come true, and we will be ready to help you whenever necessary, also together with Mr. Ioannis Pappas, who is the next speaker. Ioannis, you have really an impressive bio, and I'm glad you didn't include everything in it, but I will read a short excerpt from it. Dr. Ioannis Pappas, CEO and founder of Green Evolution SA, is Director for Mediterranean region of the Global Sustainable Tourism Council, GSTC, all well known to us. He is a mechanical engineer with PhD in applied mechanics, with over 30 years of experience in several fields of science, focusing on sustainability for tourism, energy and environmental efficiency in infrastructure and buildings, advising in standardization of companies and technological implementation of climate adaptation and mitigation methodologies. He is lead GSTC assessor for destinations, auditor assessor for sustainable tourism certification standards, focusing on hotels, tour operators and destinations, lead trainer and assessor for GSTC in Southeast Europe region. He is participating in several groups of experts and peer committees on the sustainable tourism and green transition, while he is an experienced trainer on sustainable energy, buildings and tourism in private and public universities around the globe. There's a lot more, but I think it's time to give Ioannis the floor. Ioannis.
Okay, it's here. So, good morning to everyone. Thank you, Albert, for the invitation. Thanks for all the team of Green Destinations that made a great job. We're here, finally. Thank you, Alexia, and all the team also in the municipality, and this is Athens, for all this great, actually, result for being here from 35, you said? 45? Yeah, Egypt is inside Africa, so Egypt's here, so it's. All right, so let me not lose more time. I have put my timer. So today I'm going to, let's say, to have a keynote speech. I will try actually to introduce some developments of the last months, even years. From the role that I have in Global Sustainable Tourism Council as a director for the Mediterranean area. Before starting, I would like to share a very nice, almost it's a joke. I was sitting, before COVID situation, I was sitting over there in a conference, and it was my turn to discuss about certification in tourism. And you know, there was some people from the tourism sector that were saying, oh, come on, not again certification of sustainable tourism. So boring. I hope that you all agree that this is not the case anymore, all right? Everyone is discussing about sustainability in tourism. You are here from all these countries around the globe. This is great for us, for Greece, for Europe, for green destinations, and for us as GSTC, because we're really, let's say, working on that direction. So let me start. Today we're going to discuss about the global view, but also focus on Greek market, because we are in Greece, we are in Athens, so let's discuss a little bit about that. Yeah. So just an intro slide. You know better than me that we started from, let's say, from the first part of tourism, let's say almost 70 years ago. I don't remember because I was not living these days, but I'm much younger. But in 50s, we still can see from some Greek islands, like, let's say, Corfu, that it was started tourism actually in Greece. All these movies and everything that was started over there, all the people were there. Then other islands, then the people that are very famous creating some kind of product. Then we moved to actually to some destinations in the last, let's say, 20 years that were very well known. Everyone knows here right now, not only Athens, but also Mykonos and Santorini, I suppose. Okay, I don't say that this is a pilot or, let's say, a very nice model, but there are over there. In the last years, we're discussing about over-tourism. Some people say bad managed tourism. Okay, you name it. And finally now, we are in, let's say, I don't know if it's going to happen really, post-COVID, or let's say meta-COVID, or I don't know, recovery or regenerating period. We will see. In any case, we're discussing for things that we're discussing, I mean, in areas and meetings with this kind of people, strange people are discussing about waste management or energy efficiency or social issues or biodiversity of many other things. We are at the same point, discussing about resilience now, we're talking about climate crisis. We're talking about what exactly is that creature that we have to release in one other way. I just took this morning, last night, okay, some kind of statistics about where we are from 2019, 2021, 2025 as a projection, okay, from the European Travel Commission. So you see the recovery after, I don't know if I can try this one, but it's not, so you can see here, much more in 2023, 2024, for some cases, for some months, even in Greece and many other countries, I suppose, we have already went, let's say, above this number for July, for August. Is that a success? Is that a success, really? Another record when it is like you have, let's say, an athlete, and he stopped for 2 years to run, and suddenly he has to run 100 meters. So think about the infrastructure, think about all the people that really want, let's say, to take back the income, but think about this system for the last 2 months that they are running even more from 2019. Okay? That's the question. We will see about that, I suppose. For Greece, the news are good, all right, because we're talking about Greece somehow. The GDP, or let's say the part of the GDP related with tourism, is a very good number, something like around 5 to 6%. Like the vice mayor said, we are still counting, okay? Many countries around, let's say, even in Spain or Italy, they have the same situation, more or less. Okay, so we're still going up. And this is good because if you see from the other side, all the issue with the energy prices and all the support that not only in Europe, not only in Greece, but all around the globe should be given to the less, let's say, strong from the financial point of view citizens. This is an income that can go to that direction right now because we don't know what's going to happen in winter, at least in Europe, and especially in North Europe. The news are not very good, all right? We have to cut down, let's say, our consumption of energy and natural gas, whatever. So this helps a lot, but this is not endless, all right? However, I don't know how many of you travel these days with planes. Yesterday, we were eating in a very nice restaurant, which was full, I think 80% from people not from Athens. So this was good for Athens, right? So we were sharing stories about how much time you spent waiting for your luggage, what was your connecting flight that was canceled. So people left from tourist sector. It's not so, let's say, so strong anymore. So with less people, or with less people that are really, let's say, trained to deliver, we're trying to perform with higher number of, let's say, arrivals. This is not sustainable, okay? This is not in Mallorca or somewhere in, let's say, Puerto Rico or outside, let's say, United States. This is in Chalkidiki this summer. All right? So think about you are somewhere there lying, and this thing is coming to you. So something has changed. It's not about COVID, but has changed, all right? And this is there. You know, there's a very nice, I didn't want to put inside the slides, but there are these waves. That was, first of all, the COVID, then it was the financial recession, then it was climate change, then it is the problem with biodiversity, because all these things are going towards to that direction, but something has changed, and we have to think about not only with records. This is Zande. I don't know if you know about this place. All right? This is a well-known, all right? However, you see on the bottom left part, this happened because all these small travel agents with boats were, let's say, putting more and more people, and I said putting because they are just making record, and this is the result. Of course, because this is a photo that went in the Greek news and the TV and everything, so after, let's say, some hours, it took away. But this is not only in Greece, this is all around the globe. And we have to do something about, okay? This is not only for records, it's not only for, let's say, heads that are coming. This is a very nice study that I have downloaded, I think, 3 days ago, very recent from WTTC, about natural positive and travel and tourism. I really recommend to read about that because many people outside of this, let's say, conference thinking that sustainable tourism is only smartness, electrification of cars. No. Sorry, no. So this is an outcome of the survey of, let's say, of the travel industry that are asked what you would like to be or what could be your actually contribution in order to support the biodiversity preservation and everything, okay? So you see here 73% CO2, 67% about waste, and many other things. We're talking about net zero, and we're going to say something about that. But the biggest right now challenge, even in a very ambitious program of Athens and many other cities around the globe, that they have all these very, very nice and very informal, very, very useful networks, is to have smart but also applicable, or let's say reachable targets. This is the issue right now. Put targets until 2030, 2050 that you can reach, because these people, you, me, the companies, the hotel, the airliner, everything, they have to face this challenge really. So many people are talking, and you know about the surveys that are running from Booking.com and everything. What about the client, the traveler, the tourist, the people that are traveling about? So let's say this is from Euromonitor 2021. So 70% of these people are really interested about sustainable travel, but of course we have to define what's exactly sustainable, okay? Green, eco. So this is an issue also about definitions and about what we really think about this sustainability and how we can really, let's say, experience that. So the organization that I'm representing here is the Global Sustainable Tourist Council. Some people of you, maybe you don't know. We are a global organization established in 2007, and actually we are working with the standards around the globe about sustainable tourism. Okay, so we are the, let's say, the keeper of the, somehow, of the pathway towards sustainable tourism. And I think if you can keep something today from my presentation, just keep that in order to work together, we have to have some rules. These are not the rules, but this is a starting point, criteria set. We cannot discuss about, let's say, a hotel which is a good one with good practices if we cannot, let's say, compare at least with something which is already recognized from the experts around the globe that it is really good practice. So GSTC was created in order to provide as free of charge to the global market criteria set about hotels, tour operators, and destinations. In order to create this, in order to, let's say, to provide it to the market, it is an open, let's say, more or less criteria set box. So everyone can, let's say, be part of the discussion when it's created or when it is updated. And many others are going to come right now because the demand of the market is not only for hotels, tour operators, and destinations. There are many other things over there. There are attractions, there are excursions, there are many other things, MICE activities, so that's going to come. Second very important thing, that we don't have only environment sustainability. Energy, water, chemicals, biodiversity inside the environment, but also social, but also actually economic growth with social, but also cultural. And of course, we have to manage all these things. So management also is over there. Some things about our, let's say, outcomes for the last years. Sorry about this big, let's say, the included is not. So right now, we have more than 200 members from, let's say, a lot of countries as members inside GSTC, which is very, very good, because it is a big network, exchanging things and opinions and everything. 25 countries officially represented in one other way by national organizations, by this kind of 25 countries, okay? We have many programs inside, like the recognition of standards. Green destination standard is recognized by GSTC. So we have in the three different areas, like hotels, tour operators, and destinations, totally around, let's say, 60 standards that are really recognized by GSTC, and more than 11 also in the three different areas accredited certification bodies. Certification is not just a word, it's more than a word. It is a way of living or, let's say, behavior. But this is a huge issue because in reality, someone can say, I can certify you because I'm an expert. No, this is not enough, all right? So there is a very long way for the last 6, 5, 7 years, actually, to go to a very robust system about who is certifying what in order to say this hotel that I'm certified, I'm good enough. These are some of the members. You can see here many big names. This is very important also, because from the sustainability point of view, we didn't have in the beginning the support of the real big players, I mean the most of them. Now it is the opposite. We have everyone inside. This is good for the market. Every big OTA is there. which is crucial, okay? And then we have seen a very interesting also behavior during the COVID situation. We have, and first it is Athens, we have seen a lot of destinations and generally public domain coming and becoming member of GCC in order to share, let's say, the knowledge, to take, let's say, good practices, to create awareness inside the society. So Athens, Valencia, also, like I said, national organization, New Zealand, Portugal, many others. And then, that's the last, let's say, year development, we have countries that are coming and together with us are creating national systems. Turkey is a great example. We will see in the next probably weeks the announcement official. And the good thing is that, for example, Turkey is going to make an obligation for all the hotels to be certified in a specific manner based on GSTC criteria, processes, accredited bodies, etc., until 2030. This is the idea. 16,000 facilities. This is a starting point, very important. Based on GSTC criteria, more or less, we will see about the announcement, and using certification bodies that are accredited by GSTC. So not anyone. Then Singapore, that's another thing. Green plan until 2030. The very important here is that they are asking 60% of the hotel room stock to achieve international recognized hotel sustainability certification by 2025. So countries are moving. Also now there's a trend that, okay, we have criteria set which are very complicated, no, almost the small ones cannot follow. Okay, now we see a lot of, let's say, schemes or initiatives like the WTTC Hotel Sustainability Basics that say, okay, let's start with the basics. What are the basics? 8 criteria out of whatever. Based, of course, also on GSTC industry criteria for the hotels. So we see this, okay, let's do it all together, start from the beginning, very slow, but this is the target, this is the pathway. And this is also very important, very interesting. Creation of new criteria set or extension of the existing. This is the example of inter-cruises. They were, let's say, announced that in Malaga in Sea Trade last 2 weeks ago. Together with GSTC, we have made a very big advance in order to develop criteria that are focused on extortions. So they have created a very robust product, a kind of white label. Think about packages that are sold on cruises in order to have certified, sorry, I have to stop, yeah. Yeah, give me 5 more minutes. And the first example, everything's going to be certified there, everything. The first example is the example of National Geographic Day tours that's going to start also from Athens as pilot. So National Geographic, together with the cruises, they are going to offer certified tours in Athens and many other areas. I think it is going to be something like 200 or something, which everything is certified, everything. EasyJet, a new system about the hotels that they are using, and generally speaking, based, of course, also in GSTC. EasyJet, I read in Financial Times today that they are going to, let's say, to take out the offset system that they have for the flights and, let's say, replace that with a more specific supporting scheme for initiatives specifically in their interest and put it a little bit away the carbon offset they have. American Express, preference in hotels with sustainability standards, certified under, let's say, third-party certification, like I said, accredited certification body, GSTC related, etc. This is a very, I think, a great example. This is the collab initiative that TUI Group is running right now for the next 4 years in roads. So they're going to make a model of transformation of tourism for a more sustainable model, starting from roads. It's a very interesting example and product. Please go and see about that. It's very interesting. Of course, you know about Booking.com. So we're talking about OTAs that they are changing the way that they are putting in preference installations that are already certified. Right now, there is indication about GSTC recognized systems. In the future, it's going to be more, it's going to be stronger, this kind of, let's say, reference. And what about Greece? And I'm closing almost, I'm in the next two minutes. So like I said, around 4, 6, 7, we will see where it's going to be this GDP from tourism in the national GDP. So this is good. We're talking about a strategy for many years. We don't have a strategy actually in Greece, all right? We don't have written, we have some kind of pillars, we have some kind of nice, let's say, thoughts, not a strategy, all right? Which has sustainability always there, resilience, now it's going to smartness, digitalization, okay? And support of the market, it's very, very important. Of course, there are right now good examples in Greek economy, I mean tourism sector about certification. The people of, let's say, the hoteliers in Greece would like to go that direction around 70%. So there is a demand because for the certification, because people are asking. OTAs are giving a privilege about marketing of that. So where we are now, about, let's say, 700 out of 10,000, more or less, certified, related by GSTC standards that are GSTC recognized. So these are numbers of, let's say, April, May 2022. However, the Greek model is more to technology-oriented solutions. They have invented this Greco project kind of with small islands in Greece that they would like to transform in more sustainable. You see that it's more related with actually renewables and digitalization. This is the first one, which is in a very small but very, very beautiful island, Chalki, nearby again roads. Today we are going to discuss about Istipalea in the Greek Sustainable Tourism Conference after lunch case, which is a very interesting case because Volkswagen came and invested in this one in order to transform everything about transportation into electric, that electricity is blue coming from renewables. But like we said, this is not exactly sustainability, it's part of it. And almost finishing, this is Santorini, okay? I'm working in Santorini, I have many clients in Santorini. However, this could be sustainable, I don't know. They are working very, very hard to do something, but we have to identify popular and money versus sustainability, I don't know. In that direction, we have collaborated with Google Greece in order to create awareness and training to SMEs in Greek tourism. This is already a very successful, actually, program. It is executed based on cycles, and we are almost now in the 6th cycle. There is no end about that, so more and more hoteliers are coming for this training. Also, we are very close with cruise. Don't take it as a negative, many people are saying, because it's a huge market correlated with destination development, and now the trend is that this market should be also transformed. In Greece, we are very active on that. The first initiative that we had about this, it was a collaboration of GSTC together with CLIA, which is the Cruise Lines International Association, in order to support 2 assessments, destination assessment in 2 destinations in Greece. One was Corfu, the other one was Heraklion. And actually, we have added another one, which is the city of Athens. The city of Athens is a separate chapter. We have heard a lot from, let's say, the vice mayor. You are going to hear also from Mrs. Alexia Alexia, who is representing the This is Athens and was very close to this project. So you're going to see a lot of things about this outcome. These are the 3 destinations that created a model together with CLIA in some cases about cruise and how this can transform. And this is my last slide, closing, and thank you again, Albert, for the invitation. Next stop, at least for us, is going to be in Sevilla in December. You are more than welcome to join us on the first in-person, like this is the first in-person after COVID situation, really, conference, global conference of GSTC. You have the QR, so please, let's move it and let's find, it was a very interesting discussion I had with a colleague of mine. Let's find a train to go to Sevilla. All right, even if it's a bit too complicated. So thank you very much. I hope that you enjoyed, and I wish the best for the rest of the conference.
I think I need another way around. Ah. Thank you, Ioannis. That was a great introduction to sustainable tourism and the role of GSTC, which is also used by Green Destinations as the basis of our work. I'd like to talk in the next 20 minutes about support and recognitions of sustainability, obviously, for destinations and businesses. And I'll get them all in the same picture. We think there is a risk of having a too narrow focus on just certification as an audit process. And in 2016, we developed in a way around that focus, paying a lot of attention to, you have to be preparing for an audit, and you have to reaching certification, either full certification or benchmark awards in different levels of compliance to the standard are very important. Over the years, we've seen the risk of a too narrow focus on just an audit, just certification as an achievement that you can actually display as a certificate on the wall. And the difficulty that businesses and destinations have in explaining and taking benefit of certification is that they sometimes failed to make the necessary improvement before they had this certification, and they don't often manage to communicate to tour operators, travel agents, and consumers what it actually stands for. What have they certified? What have they been approved for in this, with this evidence of a 3-star certificate? Then also the question is 3 stars of how many? Of 3, of 5, of 10, of 100? So for us, as Green Destinations, from the beginning, and when I took this initiative in 2014, 2016, I wanted to create a process of support, enabling for improvement, and giving it credibility by indeed using the certification tool with the third-party auditor, an expert that we don't employ, and also to stress on what exactly is covered by this certification. And since some certifiers even certify destination hotels, while up to 50% of criteria have some difficulty in proving to be fully compliant, also show what exactly is the things that this company or destination is doing very well. So what we want to do, what we have done, is creating a program, transitioning a program from an audit program up to a full services program for support, training, recognition, including this certification and promotion. So certification as a step, as a milestone, as a benchmark in a process. And I'll I'll illustrate that in a moment. I'm again using the wrong button. Sorry about that. No, I need to use the other button. I need to go up. Very sorry, I'm not a technician. In the training and support, I start not with auditing and certification, I start with training and support, because that's what we advise destinations and businesses to start with. Think what your ambitions are, what's your vision, what's your strategy, how do you want to be supported, how do you want to be trained, and training is often step one of a support process. We already have 3 trainings available, operational, and we're still developing new trainings, and I think in about half an hour there will be a project session of the project DGI, which is an Erasmus Plus European Union funded project in which Green Nations is participating. Patis and Tricia from our team know more about that. So we continue the training program to be better and more effective. Also, we have coaching groups. In the context of our support program, we have coaching and support groups for all kind of key issues that we think are crucial for destinations and businesses to learn about and to assess themselves and to improve before audits and the certification comes as a very effective tool to see that recognized. So these 4 are the topics of our support groups, which we recommend destinations to do in the engagement phase of a certification. So if a destination approaches us and say, "Can you certify us as a sustainable destination?" we say, "Yeah, well, we have a support program." So in the first year, we advise you maybe to have a pre-assessment or a pre-audit, but actually wait with the formal audit and make sure you make the necessary improvements to ensure that your basic elements of sustainability, basic values, are actually as good as possible according to what you want. So we don't take the top-down approach like this is a standard and you have to comply to everything. No, it's your choice, it's your destination, it's your ambition. What kind of destination do you want to be? Do you want to be a mass tourism destination? Or make sure it's going to be managed well. In the framework of this support program, we have a toolkit with nowadays about 50 tools in 5 different categories. So we have interactive assessments, mostly on the basis of the Green Destination Standard. Also, we can make GSTC destination assessments with the GSC criteria. We can make rapid assessments, interactive assessments, either with you or with a quick interview. We also allow you, through a tool which is called Business Sector Sustainability Scan, to assess how far and to what extent your business sector is embracing sustainability, not only the hotels, but the whole business sector, including restaurants and theme parks and locally family-owned businesses and hotels. In benchmarking and reporting, we have a whole range of tools using indicators and KPIs. I'll show some examples of that. We have quite an extensive climate reset, or let's say climate action planning toolkit, which allows destinations also to calculate their tourism footprint. So what's the carbon footprint of a destination in view of their tourism, considering their tourism? And we have tools to help you with climate mitigation. And we do that in partnership with other organizations, some of whom are in the conference here, and we'll go deeper into that on the Thursday climate action related sessions of the Future of Tourism Summit. That also includes, of course, our toolkit also includes climate impact and adaptation strategies. Then there is a number of more in-depth assessment tools, and obviously we have exchange tools, education tools, and learning tools, and in fact the annual events and workshop and master classes that we offer are part of this last toolkit. As an example of assessment tools, we have an assessment that people can do, you can do actually from yourself. I mean, self-assessment on the basis of Sustainable Development Goals. So you can assess for yourself and have a free report on that from us for each of the SDGs, how much your tourism management and planning and achievements and ambitions actually help you to advance each of these Sustainable Development Goals. Then we use indicators and KPIs. Obviously, there's often a tendency with KPIs and indicators to have a global scope, a global index. We don't think that's useful because you don't measure the differences between destinations. You mainly measure the differences between countries because many of the indicators in global standards are country standards. And you can only reach the top of a global standard if you're either from Scandinavia or Northern Europe. And if you're from the developing country, you'll end up in the bottom. I think that's not fair. So what we do is we use indicators and KPIs within countries. So we compare your destination with destinations that are comparable in your country. And this is an example here that shows that for one of our certified destinations, Schouwen-Duiveland. As part of our climate toolkit, we have quite a few impact assessment tools making use of models and geographical information systems and Earth observation information, Earth data. This is an example of how Jakarta, the city of Jakarta, would suffer from marine flooding in case of a 1 meter sea level rise, which is actually expected in the coming decades. But we have tools like this predicting for different scenarios about drought, about rainfall, about urban heat stress, and several other topics, including river flooding. Then there's a lot to tell about these tools because we have 50, but there is no time left. There will be a session later this week on indicators and tools, and hope you'll be joining that. So my part 2 is destination recognition, awards and certification. Why do I use that combination? Because we think certification is the end of a process of recognition, which can begin with, let's say, a year-on-year recognition with higher levels, starting with, let's say, our bronze award, which you can have with a 60% compliance to the Green Destination Standard, and the standard is GSC recognized. 70% silver award, 80%, you see that here, up to platinum award level is 90%, and full compliance means that you're eligible for GSC accredited certification. We have 157 member destinations participating in this award and certification program. 107 are awarded, at least from this kind of basic 60% bronze level. And 4 are fully certified according to the GSC accredited level. Why so few? I don't know, it's a bit more expensive and a bit more tough procedure with a longer audit, and not all destinations feel like they're already ready for it, because we focus really in the programs on improving rather than having every single criteria perfect. So the third step is promotion. What you do with the recognition is actually that we help destinations to promote yourself towards local population. I mean, for the oldest program, the Quality Coast program, there's an extensive program for promotion and support, even a magazine printed in 200,000 copies for the region and the country to promote that, with also social media, web presence, and award ceremonies like the one is going to happen this evening. We help you use your recognition, your certification award in promotion, but also we have our own programs as United Nations to spread the message around the world. And one of these tools, one of these programs is the Top 100 Stories competition. Oh, that's too quick. I don't see a picture, so I thought it was coming. As you will hear later also tonight, it's an opportunity for destination managers and stakeholders to submit evidence of their sustainability through a story, a good practice case, which could be in connected to any of the criteria or themes of the GST standard, GD standard, as the wide eligibility around being a destination. So as a hotel, you can't submit. There is always a free training after your registration as a competitor for this listing, because it's not an award, it's a listing in the first case, a list of 100. Free training. Step one is you have to report on your basic sustainability with 15 criteria, which are also from the GD standard. And when you reach 60% compliance there, only then you can submit a story. So if you're basically unsustainable destination, you can't be not eligible. So you have to prove your eligibility, that you really do something wider, and only then you can submit a story, and only then you're eligible. Then today, as an example, is the unveiling of the top 100 list, top 100 selection. And half a year later, so usually at ITB Berlin, hopefully live this time, because also ITB has not been live for a number of years. There is the Story Awards for the best of the 100 stories. It's a growing network in its own. I mean, with about 150 new applicants every year. You can imagine, of course, that's not always new ones. It's also the very good destinations have many stories to tell, so they do that. And it became a really big collection of good practices, good stories that are shared in different ways, but also that are really putting let's see a destination in really on the podium and giving them the opportunity to tell what they have done and what they are proud of. Then we think that you cannot be a sustainable destination just by following criteria in terms of public governance, doing things as a municipality, making your legislation, regulations all right. If your business sector doesn't join, if your business sector doesn't engage in sustainability, you cannot be a sustainable destination, because hotels and businesses are the places where visitors meet and actually experience your destination. So you have to make sure that the business sector is engaged from the beginning of the certification process. And we have developed a number of tools to allow every business, from micro, from one person, to very big, to engage in business certification. So Good Travel Scan with only 10 criteria for micro businesses, up to GSC accredited certification, not by us as GD, because we are not accredited for hotels, but we are about to sign an agreement with a GSC accredited body to also be able to offer this as part of the Good Travel program. We have several business engagement strategies, like in Slovenia Green, using their own brand, like Slovenia Green. You can choose for a white label for your destination, for your country, for your business certification program. Also, we are launching a Good Travel Stories program like the top 100 for destinations, but then for businesses. And we have this business sustainability scan, which helps you to understand as a destination what your business sector is doing for sustainability. And this is an illustration of that. We provide you with a survey tool that allows you to ask every of your businesses what they do for 18 core issues of sustainability, core values. And then we summarize that into 10. So for an example like here, minimizing energy consumption, you can see how many of your businesses are actually having a full effort, let's say scale 5, or doing nothing at all, or something in between. So you can see how is the performance of my business sector on energy, on the other 17 issues, aspects of sustainability. And you can see that's the, let's say, what's the average performance? In this case, 93%, 39%. And what's for each hotel, for each business, what's their performance? So also for them, that's a predictor of possible results in a business sustainability procedure, a business certification procedure. And also, and again, for each of the topics, the 10 core values, you can see what's the overall performance in my destination. So these are two people who were so brave to do the certification and to commit themselves to put the scorecard on the wall of their golf course. And the sustainability manager was in the left side was really happy because he was doing a great job, but the director was a little more concerned because the scorecard showed four different red bullets, although he had already for years a green key gold certificate. They thought he was really all right. But a certificate says nothing, while a scorecard says hopefully a lot more. So we concluded with them that they have to do something quite essential things, and the displaying of this scorecard, because it's not just hotel guests but members of the golf course, started a discussion among the members to say, when are you going to actually do something about energy, because we think that's important, or about collecting the rainwater, because you have to actually keep the greens green with groundwater. So actually there is sufficient capacity in the area to do something. So we try to change certification from a process with a certificate that you can feel comfortable for 2 years, because then that's the next audit, into a toolkit and an encouragement for improvement, and actually an agenda for improvement. And we display that in our own, initiated from us, the Good Travel Guide, which is an independent platform for travelers, because travelers indicate in surveys that they're interested in sustainable travel opportunities, but can't find them. Well, I know that most of them also will have a hard time to find the Good Travel Guide, because not everybody can, and because it's not a mainstream website yet, but at least we only feature independently checked and certified destinations, businesses, and travel products. And we're going to do that with partners, including Outdoor Active, which is one of our sponsors this week. And we're going to sign an agreement with them how we can work together with the Outdoor Active platform to reach the clients with information based upon the conclusions of audits, and in a more simple way, summarizing the results of audit certifications in a 10-item card of we call it sustainability card of the core values. So these we think are the core values of sustainability in tourism that we can actually communicate to travelers, whether it is for a destination or a business like a hotel or a product. And this is the innovation that we are hoping to realize together with Outdoor Active. Thank you. Sorry for the delay. Next speaker is Alexia Panayotopoulou. I again hope I'm pronouncing that a little bit correct. Yeah, please be seated. Alexia is a strategic planning consultant with 10 years expertise in strategic planning, destination management and marketing strategies. Her professional experience includes the strategic planning and implementation for the Athens Development and Destination Management Agency as head of strategy, establishing the official destination management organization for the region of Peloponnese as head of destination marketing, and managing First Convention Bureau in Greece as MICE director as the City of Athens Conservation and Visitors Bureau. Her professional career includes building communication strategies and managing projects for the EU Commission's DG Com and Quentes Cantor Communication Consultancy in Brussels, Belgium, and managing marketing strategies at the Botsis Foundation for the Advancement of Journalism in Athens, Greece. She is also a member of the Greek Association of Journalists. Born in Athens, Greece, she holds a law degree from France and a master's in EU and international law from Belgium. She speaks Greek, English, French, and Spanish. Alexia, the floor is yours.
Hi. Sorry, I have to be seated because I've had a broken leg, so it's not easy for me. But I hope you see me.
Yeah, sorry. I was throwing it on the floor. It seems you have to use this one.
Yeah. Okay, so welcome to Athens. We're very happy to have you all here, and this is something that we've been planning for the last few months. And it all started with a meeting with Ioannis in January 2021, when we realized that our strategy as a city was in line with the GSTC criteria, and we wanted to seek some sort of certification in order to actually prove that what we're doing is it's going to be very beneficial to the city's residents and visitors. So just a few words about the destination product mix. You know, 3,400 years of history, 80 plus museums, UNESCO sites. We used to be 17th in the world. Actually, now we're 8th at the ICA ranking for congresses and events. And we have 300 days of sunshine and really good temperatures, as I'm guessing you've already experienced firsthand. And we have an amazing nightlife, as our deputy mayor said. So we do urge you to explore it. So this is to say that we have a very strong tourism product, which needs a really good management strategy. And to say that, and based on what Ioannis was saying, we saw really like press clippings this summer, like 16,000 people visiting the Acropolis on one day. This is a nightmare. Good numbers, good income, but what about the cultural heritage management of the actual archaeological site? And what about of the experience of all these people who were packed? Did they really enjoy this? So this is why we're working towards strategies and we're doing initiatives to tackle all these problems. Sorry. Yes. Additionally, we have competitive advantages. I don't know, how many of you know that Athens actually is surrounded by seaside? Wow. We need to work on that, guys. Yes, so Athens is surrounded by a 50-kilometer coastline with amazing sandy beaches, and you can do sea sports and an amazing Riviera. So we do urge you to explore that as well. And this is one of the bets that we had to do in order to diversify our tourism product, because everyone knows how to go to the Acropolis and the historic center, but do they know that like less than 15 minutes, you actually get yourself into a very nice blue flag beach where you can have your cocktails and sunbathe? So this is really important for us, and you know, to create new experiences and to urge you to explore the wider region, not just Athens. So when the pandemic first started, our main strategic points were to actually disseminate the potential of tourism in all ecosystems through our thisisathens.org. This is the official portal of the city. We wanted to support creative industries and innovative products. We wanted to encourage product diversification and help tourism ecosystem to become more sustainable. We were very spoiled, and we were like, everyone is going to come to Greece anyways because we have the Acropolis, we have the islands, and they're going to have a good time. What about actual quality, and how do we also preserve the quality of life for the citizens, not just for visitors? We wanted to strengthen social solidarity and inclusivity and accessibility because Greece had just gotten out of a very strict financial situation. So it was really important to see how we can provide a prosperous future for all. And it was really important to public-private partnerships. You cannot do anything just by yourself. Partnership is the key to actually progressing and to creating good initiatives and implementing your strategy. And we wanted to help people gain skills and feel they can be useful back to the society and give back to the society. And we needed to have data management, like efficient data-based, data-driven decisions, which is something that we did not have. So given the fact that Athens relied heavily on tourism and that actually during the pandemic, all this dynamic was stalled, we realized that what we need, since we were investing in infrastructure and development of the cities, so we wanted to use tourism to our benefit, not just to be part, not just calculate tourism as an income and to the public funds of the city. We wanted to see how we can use their example and just create a better city. We wanted to see other destinations, other best practices, and see what we can do. So we wanted to create a safe, accessible, and sustainable destination where everyone can live and visit, because if you don't want to live in the city, then you're probably not going to enjoy when you visit it. It's just going to be a place where you're just going to come for 3 days and then just leave and say, oh, yes, I went to the Acropolis, tick. So this is not what we wanted. And we look forward into creating a circular tourism model to develop as a sustainable destination to help revenue stay in the city and to motivate citizens and local businesses to be part of this for the benefit of everyone. So with this in mind, we thought it was essential that the tourism economy was an internal part of the city. We no longer dissociate the two. I'm sure you've heard us speak about it over the past few years in workshops we've been presenting. In a country like Greece and a city like Athens, we cannot say that the tourism economy is not part of the actual economy of the city, since it accounts a very big percentage. And when we talk about infrastructure and creating more public spaces and green spaces, we cannot say we're not doing it just for visitors. We're doing it for citizens as well. They both benefit. And the quality of life is a driving force for tourist marketing. And we do put residents first, because if residents are not proud of their destinations, then visitors will never actually feel that. And it was one of the things that, one of the discussions we had back in 2013 when Greece was in the forefront of all these riots and strikes back then. And the first advice they gave to us was make sure your citizens love the city, because that's how they're going to become ambassadors and they're going to start communicating that. So this was really important for us. And we really believe that Athenians are proud of their city now. They do see things happening and things that take care of them. So they're very open to visitors. We want to be very cautious and avoid examples of over-tourism where citizens are not accepting visitors because they have overwhelmed their daily lives. We want to be very careful when to do that. And of course, the way to do that was the Global Sustainable Tourism Council Evaluation and Education, since our strategy was aligned. So we came up with a holistic response towards sustainability in post-COVID. which included actually actions that boosted the support of cultural and creative industries, destination management, the Sustainable Tourism Observatory. This is Athens and Partners. It's our a very big partnership that we've been nurturing for many years, and we're going to talk to you about it further in later. We invested in digital future. We invested in entrepreneurship and how we can give financial support for SMEs in the historic center of Athens, how we could give incentives to upgrade their digital tools, how we can create an open mall, and how we can boost thematic clusters. So we worked in a holistic approach to make sure that we actually address various needs of the destination. These are some examples. So innovative initiatives, network for the promotion and support of collective entrepreneurship in the municipality of Athens, how to raise awareness and how to support their accreditation and enhance their visibility and competitiveness. How we promote clusters, the local craftsmanship, for example, how we boost these industries, in how we support emerging new businesses and companies active in the field of culture and events. Athens Business Green Toolkit, this is a very important one because this is how we help them transform. We give them incentives, we give them funds in order for them to be able to be more environmentally friendly. Especially the COVID season era, it was hard now for companies to actually invest more money into becoming more environmentally friendly when they were struggling to actually keep their business alive. So we created incentives and funding in order for them to be able not to lose track of the direction we had taken and to become more sustainable. And business digital upgrade. Additionally, how we give ICT tools for companies, how we make them raise their awareness and make them like at zero cost, have a more smoothly integration into the productive process. And skills on demand and Star School of Business, how do we give to all these people who might have not had all this digital knowledge and the skills and the IT skills in order to be able to adjust into the new era? We gave them the skills so that they can go out and look for employment and boost their employment. And of course, cooperations with the Athens Trader Association and the Hellenic Chamber of Commerce in order to see how we can boost the local businesses and how we can push people back into the city center and actually experience Athens again. Part of our strategy for actually for cooperation is that this is Athens and Partners. I have some of the partners here in front of me and who we cherish. So it's the City of Athens, the Hellenic Association of Travel Enterprises, Aegean Airlines, the Athens International Airport, and some major stakeholders like LAMSA, Ionian Hotel, and Lambda. This is actually this is Athens and Partners. It's about promoting the destination management and marketing of the city in a uniform way without sending out different messages. We're all together and we have a council where we decide all together about what the next step of our promotion and marketing is going to be. Other than marketing, we also include like fam trips and business trips and everything that has to do with B2B and B2C promotion. Apart from this partnership, we also invest in the Athens Partnership, Adopt Your City, the Co-Athens, Commercial Chamber of Athens. So we invest in all sorts of partnerships that actually mobilize the different stakeholders of the city. And this way, we make sure that every decision made is actually, it's not unilateral, it's actually worked with and consulted with the people who are actually the beneficiaries. And international partnerships. We keep investing in any sort of partnership that can be beneficial to the city and that can give us know-how and best practices that we can use for our internal development. And we've also worked a lot on creating actually the infrastructure and taking measures that will help us address some of the criteria of the GSTC that have to do with infrastructure. So we know that Athens is dense and suffers from heat waves in summer. So we actually appointed the first municipal chief heat officer. We created new green infrastructure and nature-based solutions. We proceeded with the renovation of 34 fountains around the city, and we created pocket parks and cool and walkable city trails. Notably, Likavitos Hill and the National Garden are to be, these works have started and are to be finalized next year. So we hope to see a very good actually revamp of areas of green where people can go out and enjoy outdoors. And also another regeneration and planning, one of the biggest in Athens. It's the Eleonas regeneration, planning and infrastructure. It used to be a rundown area. Now the city of Athens is actually investing in it. And we are going to have 92,200 square meters of green spaces, 75,000 and 235,600 common green space. So we're talking about major green development in the city. And also an amazing digital strategy. During the pandemic, we've actually managed to digitalize more than 140 e-services for the cities. So you no longer have to go to the municipal offices, because you can just have your every document or certificate you need online. We have My Athens Pass, where you can see where there is available parking and where you can park, so that we avoid congestion in the streets of Athens. We have a special request and complaints platform where residents can submit their complaint, and they actually do get response within just a few hours. And we have electric car charging stations. There are 50 so far in the city center and in the historic part, and they're going to keep on investing in that. The Athens Digital Lab that enables entrepreneurship and works as a startup, an incubator, and the makerspace. And Mr. Pappas, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but Athens was the first DMO. Not officially, because the actual law was passed in 2020, but not on paper, but actually the Athens Development Destination Management Agency has been working as a destination management and marketing organization since 2012. We have a dynamic branding. This is Athens Convention and Visitors Bureau. We have the Athens Film Office, and Athens is back. We have the strategic partnerships. So these are all plans that we've been working on and investing over the past couple of years. Although I must say, we're not in paper yet, we're not a DMO. These are the oxymoron. This is the oxymoron of the situation, but we're getting there. So for us, it's really important to invest in digital presence of This is Athens. We have our in-house team with content creator, designers, photographers. We organize business seminars and events. And this has been very important because we know that during the pandemic, many of tourism businesses may not have had the budget to actually go and travel abroad. So we made sure to organize and create educational courses in cooperation with international organizations. Equally, we organized one with the Global Sustainable Tourism Council for tourism businesses. And we also held the Travel Trade Athens workshop, which has been enabling business deals between local and foreign travel agents. So this is just to showcase. I'm going to run through it quickly. This is Athens Visitors Info Point portal. Sorry, digital portal. We urge you to visit This is Athens. It can give you an idea of the Riviera as well, and numerous other experiences that you can have in Athens. It's in 3 languages, English, French, and German. It's more than 450 articles, 7,000 photos, more than 700 events happening in the city, itineraries, 200 places, 2,000 places in Athens. And of course, we also have our accessible guide, especially prepared for people with reduced mobility. Now you have your own guide to visit Athens. And if you don't have time to actually to stay for more, then we invite you to listen to our podcasts. These were created during the pandemic. It's an effort to showcase of actually the competitive advantages of the city and stories and experiences that one can have when visiting Athens. Our forward-thinking heritage. This is our motto for the Convention Visitors Bureau. We respect our culture and we invest in the future. And this is Athens with a local. For those of you who are going to participate at the sustainability session with the GNTO, our community manager Spiros will actually present that this is Athens with a local, a volunteer program where visitors can meet with Athenians and have a walk around Athens. The Athens Film Office was established in 2020 and has already actually served more than 100 requests for films. And this is the same actually slide with Ioannis, more or less. So having had in mind that these were all the projects we had been working on, and we proceeded with the evaluation from the GSTC. We're very excited. It took Ioannis a year and his team and around 110 meetings. A lot of persistence because, the public authorities were not always door opening, welcoming to anyone who was trying to look into the data and statistics. So we want to thank Ioannis for making this evaluation happen and for being so persistent. We got excellence. So I think now we're in a good way to start with actual certification with green destinations. So Athens belongs to the future. And our future belongs with the GSTC and the green destinations for sustainability. And we want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to present what we're doing. And we're here to discuss and exchange views and to hear any good practices that you've seen have worked. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Alexia, for your excellent presentation. And we are also looking forward to a bright future for Athens, even brighter than it already is. All presenters, thank you very much. Audience, thank you very much for listening. Anna, please come forward to give the latest news on where the morning sessions are going to take place. And that's before I'm going to tell you where the coffee is, otherwise you'll leave already. So, Anna.
Also from my side, thanks a lot to all the speakers that have presented already. It was really a nice opening session. I'm very happy. We're going to have a little late coffee break now, 15 minutes late, so we want to give you a little bit more time. So the morning sessions will start 11:45. Please come back then. We will have in here national and regional strategies from all over the world, so really interesting. And then we have 2 sessions in the M2 floor. So if you take the elevator, press M2, or just go up the stairs 1 time. And in there, we will have a workshop by Google Greece for businesses. And in the other room, we will have a regional event for the Balkans. Green Garden A and Green Garden B, it's close to each other. We can inform you up there then on where every session happens. Thank you very much. Albert,
Can I invite everybody to take a seat so we can get started with this session? Thank you. Okay, let's get started and welcome everyone to the first parallel session of this conference. My name is Hugo de Jong. I'm co-founder of Green Destinations. And I welcome all the delegates to the panel Strategies for Sustainable Development, National and Regional, Part 1. As we are a few minutes away from commencing the panel proceedings, I would like to request everyone to settle down and pay attention to the house rules displayed on the screen. Well, I think you've seen them by now. Please note that the panel starts and lasts about 2 hours, and we'll have lunch afterwards. Thank you for your kind attention, and now I'd like to take the opportunity to invite the panel host for today, Peter Reeves, founder of Northflash Sustainable Destination Services and our partner in Sweden for a long time. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much. May I have this? I messed up with my. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, and welcome. It's nice to see you here, and I'm proud to have the honor to be the host of the session today. I am honored to have all your guests here, all your 7. And I'm sorry I messed up with my papers here, so I took from Hugo, who was kindly to give me his papers, the papers that I will use now. So we will talk about today about the strategies of the sustainable development and in the regional and national level. And there will be a second part in the afternoon, and this is the first panel part today. And with us here today we have Anula Galevska, we have Claudia Vecchio here, we have Darren Moodley here with us, and we have Petra Schut and Jacqueline Jost with us. Welcome, all of you. And the start now today will be Anula Galevska. She is a co-founder of Travindi, and she has managed and helped to improve sustainability among destinations, tourism, hospitality business in over more than 80 countries. So, Anula, welcome to the stage.
Thank you very much. I'm super honored to start the panel. So today we are going to speak about the region, which is very often forgotten, but this in a second. First of all, I just want to remind everyone that Travindi is a media partner of this event. We publish news digest, and we would love to hear your best practice story. So if you submit your best practice story on Travindi, we will happily publish it for free and promote your destination on our organization. This was a moment of self-promotion. And now, the question to you is, how many of you have been to Central Asia? Not many. So I think it's a good moment to bring some light to this amazing, fascinating region, which we all always forget or often forget, especially when we talk about sustainable tourism. So just to give you a better understanding what region we are talking about several countries: Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan, which were once part of the Soviet Union, so still they are very influenced by Russia, but also by China, Turkey, by Islam. You might have heard of some political instability, but what is really important is they are a huge, huge area, comparingly similar to European Union. However, the number of people living there is much less. So this creates some opportunities and challenges of sustainable tourism development. So what is good? Space, a lot of space, which creates more tourism opportunities for new products, routes, accepting more people, and also economic growth. That's why all these countries, or most of these countries, took tourism as a driver force for economic development. There is absolutely beautiful, untouched nature, really diverse and rich culture, and you cannot even imagine how fascinating culture in these countries is. So definitely do visit them. What is really important for sustainable tourism is that their values, especially in the remote areas, are very similar to the concept of sustainability in general. So people do respect nature and resources. Sometimes they forget about it, but this is what their DNA says. And also what is good, these countries have already done the first step in terms of creating the basic legal framework. And also there is presence of international organizations which give access to financing. Of course, there are some issues, and the space, which is so huge, is also a struggle because people might be misled by the the wide landscape and think that we can accept as many people as possible. However, there are areas which already suffer from over-tourism. There is lack of environmental awareness in general among local population. There is not enough knowledgeable local experts and leaders in administration. So I'm happy to see the delegation from Central Asia here at the conference. There are some issues with product quality, health and safety, not enough knowledge about marketing, sales, and also because of the political situation, the image of the region is not the best or as good as we want it to be. The good thing, as I mentioned before, in all these countries, there have been already first steps taken to set up the legal framework. So here are just examples of national strategies and documentation developed in the countries of Central Asia. Like the Green Economic Development Program in Kyrgyzstan. Kazakhstan is working very actively now to set up ecotourism standards and certification program in the country. Uzbekistan with development strategy of New Uzbekistan. They all mention sustainability as an important element of the national strategy. What also has been done in the previous years, there are a lot of projects going on in international organizations. There was a lot of training done for private businesses and different type of stakeholders. A lot of this training was towards certification, towards energy efficiency, and skill building in general. We have done sustainability gap assessment in a number of destinations, and also some destinations are working on their tourism strategies that also include sustainability criteria. And now I want to share with you two examples which I believe are really great and interesting as well for other countries which maybe are not as developed as EU in terms of governmental support. The first one is Katon Karagay from Kazakhstan, and this region has been developing rural tourism. And what is interesting in this case is the public-private partnerships. So this is a rural mountainous region, and as most of the regions in Central Asia. And pretty much from 2015, 2016, a lot of projects have been organized promoting events and local culture through festivals like Honey Festival, which started in 2015 and it's continuing until today. A lot of eco products, eco trails have been developed. A lot of training for hospitality was provided, infrastructure development. Also, Katon Karagay got a new branding. And also, tour operators from Switzerland recently were brought to the region to promote it better. What is particularly interesting in this case is the support of private corporations in the development of the area. So in some governments and some countries, the government does not offer enough support, financial support for the development of the regions. In case of Kazakhstan, there is a meat production and processing corporation called Aitas, which have set up a sustainable rural development fund. And with the help of this fund, they've done a lot in rural areas, and they identify many areas, and for each rural area, they have their own priorities. There are two regions where tourism was set as a priority, and Katon Karagay is one of them. So for instance, the fund supported with the branding. And what I'm saying here is that if the government is not able to support you, maybe there are private businesses with a strong CSR policies which are willing to invest in your region. The second, and probably my favorite country of all of the Central Asian, is Kyrgyzstan, with the loveliest people here in the room. And the case I'm presenting here is from Alay district, where there was a project run by Helvetas for a couple of years now, focused on reducing poverty and empowering communities through tourism and handicrafts. A lot has been done there as well. Basically, the whole project was focused on preservation of traditions by promoting national crafts. What was important was the gender issues locally. That's why a lot has been done in terms of training women and families through the gender action learning system. There was a setup of association Business Women of Alay, who took the ownership of the project and continued working on the handicrafts and promoting them. How tourism was integrated. A lot of activities were created, like master classes, shows where the handicrafts are promoted, and also presentation of handicrafts on festivals. Also, they have developed BioLife brand, which was so successful that they even secured a contract with a German company to sell these products abroad and secure their distribution. So this wouldn't be possible, like in case of Kazakhstan, without proper partnerships of Helvetas as the main lead, but also with the local administration, different NGOs, and the role of the private sector. So once again, I want to highlight that sometimes the private sector, even I'm not talking only about the private sector from the tourism industry, but also other organizations can resell or promote your projects. So the success of this project comes from the long-term plan, I guess, and I think that the best way to show how successful it is that it contributed to a decrease in poverty rate from 57 to 48% in 5 years in the region. So I invite you all to ally and to explore their produce. And Nargiza here, I'm sure, will be able to point you to the right place where to buy this amazing product. And there's a second hidden objective of my presentation. I would like everyone to think how we can strengthen regional cooperation for sustainable tourism and peace. We live in a very weird situation right now with a lot of instability in the world, especially in the Central Asian region with the war in Ukraine, some tensions on the Kyrgyz border as well. So I'm sure that the same situation can happen in other countries, in other continents as well. So how can we use tourism to make sure that we promote cross-cultural understanding? There are some obvious things like joint projects, exchange of experiences, cross-cultural promotion and understanding and sensitivity projects and initiatives, shared product development, regional promotion and branding. I hope that Central Asia will work more together to promote the whole region and show how amazing it is. And if you have other ideas, please share with us, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anula. It was a very interesting speech. Thank you. Now we come to the next presentation. How can a countrywide destination marketing be changed into a destination stewardship organization? And how can the three key audiences, internal staff, consumers, and residents, be won over? Claudia Vecchio, I hope I pronounced the name correctly. Thank you. Successfully guided the destination of Sonoma County in California through this process. To the process creating a sustainable hospitality economy on the region, dedicating to promoting overnight stays in the area. Claudia has been in the destination management business for forever, yeah, for 30 years. And she has led state tourism offices in Ohio and Nevada and regional bureaus in Branson, Missouri, and is currently CEO at Sonoma County Tourism. Claudia, the stage is yours.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The other way.
You have to down for going forward, the down keys for going forward.
It's not my presentation.
No, maybe you press again.
It is. There it is. Okay. Sorry about that. Good morning, everyone. It's a delight to be here and to represent Sonoma County. Are you familiar with Sonoma County? I'm too short for this, aren't I? I'll just stand over here. Are you familiar with Sonoma County, California? Yes. All right. Well, Sonoma County is just north of San Francisco and is one of California's prized wine destinations. So we have more than 450 wineries in Sonoma County, and certainly they distribute wine all over the world. But Sonoma County really was known primarily to bring visitors into the area. So as a destination marketing organization, we were very much focused on heads and beds and the numbers game. And that really, of course, is very detrimental to us as an organization. So we have worked along the lines of adopting the CREST mantra, which I'm sure you're all very familiar with really integrating responsible travel into this overall destination marketing organization kind of platform. Sonoma County comes on this whole idea of sustainable tourism in a very organic way. So not only are we the home of 3 indigenous Native American tribes, but we also have people who have been part of Sonoma County's history. Luther Burbank, Jack London, some of these famed horticulturalists and novelists have talked a lot about the beauty of Sonoma County, calling it a treasure of all the earth and other accolades. But Sonoma County really is, comes about this idea of being sustainable in a very organic way. In 2015, our wine region made a very bold declaration that it wanted to be the world's first sustainable wine region. And in fact, it did accomplish that. So all of our efforts from a tourism standpoint, with wine being a major draw, have a foundation that makes this all very authentic and real. So the Sonoma County wine growers did have this commitment to being a responsible and sustainable wine region. In 2018, the Wine Enthusiast magazine named Sonoma County the world's best wine region, simply because of the fact that we are now 99% of our wineries are sustainable. Lots of them are biodynamic and have other sustainability initiatives. But because wine is such an important component, that was really the foundation for what we were doing. As many of you also are experiencing, we also had a number of issues around over-tourism. Sonoma County has miles of ocean. We are situated on the Pacific Ocean and also a large agricultural area. So our residents, as many of you are starting to talk about the importance of having residents part of the tourism conversation, really started to bubble up in a very impactful way. So back in 2016, 2017, we started having conversations with residents about the issues that were facing them. But in the middle of those conversations, this happened. I'm sorry, it's low.
Strong winds send flames racing toward more
Can you
homes overnight
make that
in
louder?
Northern California. Entire towns are evacuated. The death toll has risen to 23. We'll hear from exhausted firefighters trying their hardest to save lives. Welcome to CBS This Morning. The wildfire disaster in Northern California is worsening, and there appears to be no end in sight. The fires are now blamed for at least 23 deaths. 285 other people are reported missing, though officials suspect many of them are just out of touch with loved ones. 3,500 homes and businesses have been destroyed.
And think about this. There are entire towns that are under evacuation orders. Highway patrol officers went door to door in parts of Sonoma County overnight, strongly advising homeowners to leave, get out.
At least 22 large fires are burning in California at this hour. Carter Evans is in Santa Rosa, where firefighters are still having trouble getting into some burned out areas. Carter, good morning.
Good morning. I'm standing in front of what was once a Kmart that has been obliterated. You can just imagine how hot it was to bend those steel I-beams. And take a look inside. You can see the burned out shopping carts there. This is what it looked like when it was fully engulfed. Firefighters say there was nothing that
there were communities completely destroyed by fire. So the impacts of climate change cannot be underestimated. So not only did we have this sort of nice growing wine grower sustainability initiative, but all of a sudden we were really charged with taking a very impactful approach to climate change. So then we started talking to travelers, and then we got this kind of information back, and this is going to be very familiar to all of you: transportation, infrastructure, the impact to communities and neighborhoods from tourism. So we had all of these issues facing us. So in 2017, we really took a hard look at what we were doing as a tourism organization, and we We're the first destination marketing organization in the US to take on the mantra of being a destination stewardship organization. And that really is taking a broad-based look at how we approach our destination. Like many of you are doing, it was the people, planet, profit, a kind of platform of sustainability. So we have evolved our entire platform as an organization to taking that stewardship approach. We do look at this from a holistic standpoint of making sure we are talking to all of our particular audiences that are involved with this. But in 2019, we really started to do some new initiatives and put together, sort of like Palau, that were very much a model for this, a Travel Kindly pledge and encouraging our people to come in. The fires weren't done with us. In 2019, we had another enormous fire, the Kincaid fire, and that happened again in 2020. So as we went into the crisis, we started to see in the US, and it sounds like many of you over here did too, what we called novice travelers. These were travelers who, for the first time, were getting out and behaving very badly. Our beaches were strewn with trash, and people were not being responsible travelers. Again, we dealt with fires, but really what we're looking at now is that, and you all have seen the Booking.com statistics about how impactful the pandemic has been on the way travelers travel. So in our strategic plan, which we are currently in the midst of, our board made a really bold decision to say we are going to welcome travelers into Sonoma County, but you have to be a responsible traveler. So no longer are they looking just for heads and beds, but our mission and our vision are all around being responsible travels. I'm not going to go through that.
Heading to Sonoma County this.
But I do just want to show you our marketing efforts are all around this, and so are our video components. And I just wanted to show you this video. If you can turn it up.
When you experience a place like this, so untamed, so unhurried, a place where nature is celebrated, revered.
And this land has been protected for generations.
You'll find yourself not just visiting, but wanting to leave this place even better than you found it. That is,
I'm so happy to be here.
if you can bring yourself to leave it all. Sonoma County, where life opens up.
That's our brand. So just as this is the mantra that we now incorporate: a place worth visiting is a place worth protecting. And all of our marketing, all of the things that we're doing really are around responsible travel and bringing travelers in who will protect and preserve our region. But we went through a journey to get here, and a journey that Mother Nature kind of put on us, but also a journey that the tourism industry is evolving, and we're very happy to be part of that entire initiative. The one question I would have for you all in this room is, how are we going to measure success? And it's from my standpoint, is that you talk about quality over quantity, but I don't yet see that measurement metric. I don't see that model. So if anybody in this room knows of that model, I would be very happy to hear about it, because that's our next big challenge. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Claudia. It was very inspiring to see, and to see also the problems you face with the wildfires. And I'm sure we have to face them more in the future, and more destinations will have to fight about that. But I do not start the questions now. We will have some time afterwards for questions. So we will just go on in the program, and we will now talk about Mauritius. We will have here Darren Moodley, the project coordinator of the Sustainable Island Mauritius project. And his presentation has the title, Tourism Greening in Mauritius through the Sustainable Island Mauritius project. Darren, welcome on stage.
Thank you, moderator. So such a privilege to be among all the panelists with you today. So critical questions. How many of you have been to Mauritius? Oops. How many of you heard about Mauritius? All right, so we have room for improvement, guys. Huh? So I'm assisted, and we are here today with a delegation. So we have the Director of the Tourism Authority and also a delegation from Rodrigues with the Deputy Commissioner and Commissioner of Tourism as well. So rapidly, so we work for the Tourism Authority in Mauritius. So the Tourism Authority is the regulatory body that encompasses all the licensees on the island. So we gave license to around 6,000 operators around, and it encompasses all the major activities and the value chain of the tourism sector. We are piloting a project since 2018, which is the Sustainable Island Mauritius project, a project which is co-funded by the European Union, and it has a time lapse of 4 years, and technically it is going to end by this December of this year. So I will have the challenge of making a quick presentation of a 4-year project in 10 minutes, so I will try to be quite quick onto that. So the vision about the project is that we want to empower the operators in the tourism sector, so be it the hotels, the accommodation, the tour operators, the tour guides, so that they develop and acquire the basics criteria of sustainability and put it into their product development so that they have products that are in line with a few of the GSTC criteria. The second vision is about the tourists. They are attracted enough to these products so that it becomes into the mainstream of the sector. The third one as well is that we want that the sustainability and the dose of innovation is being input in all the product development, the new products that are going to be on the market, but also those that have been existing so that they can try to change and make a transition towards the products that are more sustainable. And the fourth one is that tourism is a major partner, a major sector that will improve the livelihood of the inhabitants and, of course, be a great place where visitors will enjoy when they come to Mauritius. So all of these visions are englobed into basically two kinds of concepts. The first one is about the handprints, so that we try to encourage innovation, we try to encourage co-creation, so that all the products that are being developed, they are mainly beneficial to the society, for the community wellness, and also for the environment. While the second phase is all about trying to mitigate all the influences that tourism are usually associated to, but we call usually the footprints. So we have developed a set of 11 criteria. So 11 criteria that are mostly adapted to the Mauritian context, where we try to thrive and give capacity building on these sets of criteria, which are what you can see on the slides, where really it focuses on these two aspects of handprints and on footprints. So all our work strategy has been really to encourage and then accompany the tour operators so that they develop these kind of new activities. And through the tour operators, it is all the value chain that are being touched. The second phase is really about the capacity building, the workshops that have been done, so that they get the whole of the idea of sustainability and the Sustainable Island Mauritius project. And the third one is about the marketing of the product itself. So we have been traveling quite a lot these few months, so to going to international fairs where we put in the limelight the sustainable products that have been developed. And the fourth one, and the advantage that we have here as being part of the Tourism Authority, is that we can really have policy decisions that are made to really encourage and then to integrate these new products into the mainstream. How we did it? Well, it was about tackling the different areas, the different sectors of the tourism industry. So we have been dealing a lot with the tour operators, so as the main umbrella party, but below we also encourage and then accompany through capacity building and workshops the other sectors, such as the tour guides, the accommodation sector, the taxi drivers, well, mostly all those that are really involved in that tourism sector. We have been also doing training in Rodrigues Islands, which is part of the Republic of Mauritius, and our objective there is to reach 1,000 operators in terms of capacity building. And we have been doing also certification in tour guiding, because they are the ones that can really appreciate the environment of Mauritius and then give out the true information to the tourists. We have been doing also training into the marine ecosystem because Mauritius, it is surrounded by the ocean. National cleanup campaigns with the stakeholders, so as part of being desensitization processes. And when we had the COVID also, so a lot of online workshops that we have been doing. So discovery tools, co-creation days, online workshops, these were part of the activities of a sustainable island. And when we were struck by the COVID, we also helped the destination by writing the sanitary protocols. And these sanitary protocols also led to a WTTC safe travel stamp. We have now in Mauritius our own recognized GSTC standard, which is called the Blue Oasis, and it is part of the 46 or 47 standards around the world. And we are trying to push for the SMEs to go for that kind of certification. Green pamphlet, so this is a very challenging issue because we put in place a lot of policies, but certainly the SMEs are the ones who suffer the most because they lack the finance and the investment that they need to inject if they want to do the transition to a green solutions. So we designed a kind of pamphlet where we included the banks and the financial institutions, but also some of the operators that offer the green solutions to the operators. The company diagnosis tool, the product diagnosis tool, and the improvement guidelines, best practices cards, impact measurement tools, and communication tools, well, they are all part of a toolkit that we develop and that we put free of charge to all the operators on the island so that they can really measure where they stand and what is their pathway up to the sustainability journey. We have been also doing in May of this year the first Sustainable Tourism Mauritius Awards. And it was among, we received like 116 registrations, and the winners were in 6 categories. Ladies and gentlemen, I would just showcase a short video that really encompasses what we have been saying so that you understand well what kind of package that we have been developing so far. So that is what we have been doing so far. So building these kind of packages, but it is really integrated into the mainstream of the tourism sector. So thank you very much for your attention.
Go ahead. Okay, thank you very much, Darren, for these nice pictures and this very interesting movie at the end. Thank you very much. We are now coming over to the next speaker, which is Gergana Nikolova. I hope I pronounced that right. Gergana is passionate about sustainable tourism and holds a master also in sustainable tourism. And you have worked around the world in different places. And you will talk about something today that I think sounds very interesting and I'm quite curious about, sustainability per default.
Sorry.
So, Gergana, please, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor and pleasure to be back live on stage. It still feels strange. It's been several events since the beginning of the year, but still, it's really that emotion that kicks in. Seeing some friends and, as someone mentioned earlier, it feels like the family gets together. So my name is Gergana. I represent the Adventure Travel Trade Association today. And I would like to build on some of these stories, hearing from different parts of the world.
It's not showing.
You can imagine what I'm talking about. So some of you might know about ATTA. We are a global organization focused on, obviously, adventure travel. And we are probably we are the leaders and the motivators, the inspirers of adventure travel. And what is actually adventure travel and why we speak that it is sustainable by default? Because the definition which unites our over 30,000 travel professionals around the globe is the combination of being physically active, spending time in nature, and having a cultural immersion. In the heart of this is the actual experience. And what could be that experience? It could be a challenge, it could be a transformation, it could be a wellness, it could be an impact, it could be self-challenge, it could be a unique and novel experience. All of these are activities that contribute to the local communities. Very important to engage the local communities and to contribute to the local communities. We heard the importance and the transition of Central Asia, and specifically of Kyrgyzstan, how working with the local communities can help also with poverty alleviation. And somewhat adding to what you mentioned, and also about Claudia's question about measuring the success and what are the KPIs. Something that we at the ATTA also find as a challenge is our community, our members don't bring huge number of travelers at the destination. However, these travelers leave a high economic impact in rural areas. 65% of what the adventure traveler spends lives in the destination. Compared to other forms of tourism, you can see that it's quite a big difference. And who is the adventure traveler? We mentioned what they do. Some of their motivations are around having a new experience, go off the beaten track, travel like local cultural encounters, and so on. And here we can see what are the top trending activities by region. So these people are in most cases are highly educated. These are people who have bigger income. They live a higher amount in the destinations. And they're very sensitive to the local cultures, to supporting, to providing more, to contributing to local economies. Actually, a great example comes somewhat to respond also to Claudia's question, comes from the most recent Norwegian strategy, where they have a calculator combining different data. Of course, they can do it because they're good in collecting data and measuring actually not only looking at carbon emissions from traveling or long haul travels, but actually also calculating the value that each traveler leaves in the destination. And this is how they're really evaluating what are their priority markets and how they need to be thinking and reporting on the success of travel. So adventure travelers, obviously, they like to be active. The last decade, probably, the top trending activity has been hiking. Now also with e-biking, it also invites people of all abilities to become also more active on cycling. So we see a good interest, especially in Europe, on cycling and including e-biking. Culinary, something that I didn't mention when I mentioned the definition of adventure travel, is that 90% of what our members, representatives of 100 countries around the globe, what they offer is the so-called soft adventure. So that's why culinary is so high for specifically for Europe, but we can see also for Africa, it's archaeological. So this kind of not bungee jumping or paragliding activities. It's about really the experience, going and diving, learning about the destination, spending time with the locals, learning probably some handcrafts, probably doing some of these activities that have been mentioned just before earlier by Anola. We're speaking about certification the whole morning. I probably, if I knew your presentations, I probably would have skipped that slide, but it also proves about our community. Our members are also on the journey of obtaining sustainability certifications. There are quite a few different programs, and we can see that they're learning. There is a desire to transition into more sustainable industry and to have these certificates. Not only the certificates, but really to become better and more sustainable. So with the next slides, I want to mention some examples by our members and partners that we inspire each other, and what's ATTA role is to be an inspiration for our community, to pass these to the different destinations and to the tour operators that are part of our community, and together to be moving forward to a more sustainable industry. And our role, what ATTA does, is actually bringing the supply and the demand together. So we are that network where we are the platform where the international buyers meet with sustainable destinations, with sustainable providers. So the next slides, I am sharing, as I mentioned, some examples coming from different partners, ATTA partners. For example, France moves to ban short-haul domestic flights. In other European destinations, actually, this didn't happen very successfully. But this is a mover and a shaker on what could be done for being more cautious when traveling for short-haul flights. We all know that Visit Scotland were the first ones to sign the Tourism Declares Climate Emergency Declaration, and they actually committed to become net zero by 2045. Now we see way more destinations signing the Glasgow Declaration, and we get inspired by these destinations. Another ATTA member, Fjord Norway, are moving into emission-free tourism on the fjords. It's a journey, but it's a bold statement, and we get inspired, and we are learning. And of course, it's not easy. Everyone makes mistakes. And when we are in a community where we share our mistakes together, we are able to move forward in a stronger and smarter way. Another partner, Swiss, they're the first airline in the world to use sun-to-liquid fuel, which is basically concentrated sunlight to produce carbon-neutral kerosene. Quite impressive. We tend to hear how the airlines are somewhat an enemy for climate, but at the same time, we know what an enabler it is to go to remote destinations. It was mentioned 46 countries are here. Most of us, with some exceptions, have traveled by flight. So it's important that together we don't point fingers, but again, hold hands and find the solutions. The next two examples are coming from the private sector. longtime ATTA member Wilderness Scotland during COVID actually spent quite some time analyzing over 5,000 services throughout their portfolio of offerings. And they actually created the carbon labeling on for all their experiences. And since they put these carbon labels on their offerings, they could see a drastic change on how people actually book their trips when they have that information available. Another radical example comes from an Austrian ATTA member, Asi Reisen. They have done a couple of smart things during the past few years. First is they introduced that radical transparency, where every dollar or euro goes from each booking. And now travelers understand that, yes, there is a margin, of course, that goes to the operations of the organization, but how much it actually contributes to the local communities, how much it goes for carbon, in this case, Asi Reisen are purchasing also the international flights, how much it goes to reduction or compensation of emissions, and so on. And this now is followed by other companies. So we see this becoming for probably the past 12, 18 months as a trend. Another recent move that they started offering is they're encouraging travelers to put their starting destination on the list and to have the name available. So if, let's say, I'm leaving from Berlin to go to the Alps, it says that I will be going there. And if you also are traveling from Berlin on that trip, actually we can share the ride. So it's a smart way to be also reducing emissions. Some key takeaways: adventure travel is a mix of culture, nature, and physical activity with sustainable experiences in the heart. It contributes greatly to the economic development of destinations. Trending activities are aligned with sustainability criteria, and together our members are really becoming movers and shakers. And if you want to become part of our community, contact me and I'll be happy to take you through some specific cases how we have helped destinations take this journey and meet the right international tour operators. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gergana. It was very interesting to see, and also the nice examples that you showed at the end. Very inspiring. Thank you very much. We are now coming to the presenter number 5, Petra Schutz, Director of IVN Naturedukatie. I hope I pronounce it somewhat okayish. You are the chairman, experienced chairman with a demonstrated history of working in the non-profit organization management industry. And you're skilled in sustainable development, coaching, government, interim management, and event management. And the title of your presentation today is Local Entrepreneurs Inspired by Nature, the Green Future. Welcome on stage, it's yours.
Well, thank you. And for the people who didn't understand, it's about nature education, but maybe you heard that. The Netherlands, it's not much of a country. Of course, in space, I mean that. It's little, it's not very much to go to, you think. But are there any Dutch in the room? Oh, there are, yes. I was thinking a lot of them because the Dutch are everywhere. There's 17 million Dutch people living on a very, very small country. So the Netherlands do have a lot of challenges. We have a lot of agriculture. We need space for agriculture. We need space for traffic. We need space for houses, as everybody does. But we also need space for nature, which is very important. And that's what I'm going to talk about. And I have to press something, I think.
Press
okay.
The down button.
Oh, the down button. Yes.
I
Down.
pressed the wrong one.
Oh, you
that one.
pressed the wrong one.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, this.
oh, okay.
Isn't it the down button, Hugo?
This is Scotland.
But we are going back through the other.
Okay.
And we cannot see this anyway.
Oh no, you cannot see and you don't see anything.
No,
So-
there.
Oh, there it
Take
is.
this button here. That works.
And this one?
This one, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, local entrepreneurs inspired by nature, the green future. We did a lot of training of local entrepreneurs from our organization IVN, because we really do believe if you reconnect, I especially say reconnect because there's a distance, reconnect people with nature, we strongly believe that they will take care of the environment and make sustainable choices. So we also train local entrepreneurs and about nature, so they can be the ambassador of their own environment, their backyard, and they can tell about nature and where to go to and where not to go to. Well, the Dutch tourism trends, they travel all around the world. You will meet them everywhere. Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't, but it's everywhere, I think. COVID put a stop to that. So these 17 million stayed in this little country, and we wanted to go outside, which was allowed, and people were really into nature. We needed it. So this is what it was like. And well, you see the 1.5 meter measure, probably, I don't know, but it was crowded, it was overcrowded in nature areas. And we also want to do horse riding, we want to do cycling, we want to walk our dogs, and you name it. So there was not space enough for everybody, and nature was suffered. But we turn to nature, and if you see, we do have some really nice areas, nice landscapes, and also these local entrepreneurs have a really big green impact these days. They have learned about this area, they live there, and they have their hotels or their B&Bs, whatever, and they are probably the first hosts you will meet if you come into a country or if you travel. And this host can tell you little things about bird nests in their surroundings or other things, and they can tell you, well, you go and have your picnic basket with you with all the local products, and you go to this nice area, but probably better not to go right because there's a bird nesting. And if you want to have a look, be careful. So that's helping. It's helping. It's very small, but it's helping. And people love it because they're also the storytellers of a cultural heritage and other things. And they love it because the people who had the training are real good storytellers. Ambassadors of the landscape, you see them outside, they're going with their visitors everywhere, proud storytellers, and focused on the ultimate nature experience. And it's also amazing how people love and like that. In harmony with the environment, of course. You can make a fire at some places and do a lot of other things which can be sustainable. But it's not only making nature flourish, but also local businesses, because a lot of people see this as something which adds to their experience a lot of nice things, and they really love it. So it's, I think it's a win-win situation. Learn, share, and unite. We also do have, this is a real network of local entrepreneurs which we have weeks, experience weeks, and all these entrepreneurs have activities which they show in some, some periods which are not really touristic. So that's really nice to have. What they also have done after COVID is we'll make with these local entrepreneurs. We have built, it's called trektochten, but it's a 3 days experience. And you're going walking from host, to ambassador, to hotel, to B&B, and everybody is involved. Also a win-win. And you have a podcast, and you walk through the landscape with this story on your head of cultural heritage story, but also about nature. Well, we do invite you, of course, to join us to see if some trainings are interesting for your country also. So this is a really educational aspect, which we were very excited about and which was very popular in our country. So we thought, well, let's make a certification of this. And then, with my other hat, which was not in the introduction, I'm also a member of the board of Federation for Environmental Education Global, which also has the certificates of Green Key and Blue Flag. I was saying in our country, we do have so much certificates. We rather have global certificates than national certificates. So we said, well, if it's an educational aspect, we rather be in that Green Key programs for the ambassadors of the landscape and the training. And that helps us a lot because our network is so much bigger than it was before. And that's also for Blue Flag. Well, I can talk much longer, but I think I'm in the 10 minutes. Am I not? Yes? Okay, thank you. 2 minutes. Well, that's not, I do have a lot to say, but I think this is enough. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Petra. It was very interesting to see and to hear. And the 2 minutes, maybe we will welcome for the Q&A session in the end, some extra minutes. Thank you for that. So coming to our next speaker, Jacqueline Jost, who is the founder of EcoMagic. She will explain a little bit more about. And you lived in 5 different continents. I guess Antarctica is not one of them. So, but it's interesting, and you're quite young, 28 years, so you moved a lot around. And you, as I said, founder of EcoMagic, which is a marketplace for local land and sustainable travel, and also includes a green magazine, as I read. So, and you will talk about the project in Dubai, the community hub that you are launching there in partnership with the Dubai Tourism Board. So we are eager to hear what you have to say, and you have a quite long title in your presentation. I will read it. Destination Curation and Local and Sustainable Travel, EcoMagic's Proof of Concept in Dubai and How We Plan to Replicate Across the World, Empowering Destination Stewardship. You're welcome to explain what is behind this. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I know I need to work on title length, but... Ooh. Sorry.
No problem. I was told this one should bring us back to try the other one. Wonderful.
There we go. Hi, everyone. My name is Jacqueline. I'm the founder of EcoMagic. We're a curated marketplace for local and sustainable travel. And really our mission is to build a global community of local and sustainable businesses and bring together the initiatives that destinations are doing on a local scale, and then also empower travelers to make the most responsible decisions with their tourism dollars. We have been on a journey for the past 5 years, and I'll kind of go into a little bit more of a background with that, but we're finally launching our tech platform in November. And we received investment for that, and so we're building a tech-supported community to kind of connect the world of sustainable travel. But I went into sustainable tourism about 5 years ago. I was traveling around Southeast Asia and living there at the time. And I had a background in hospitality and tourism management, but what I didn't expect to see when I was traveling were the negative impacts that were occurring because of mass tourism. Now we're at a Green Destination Summit, so I don't think I have to convince you all about sustainability, but I was really caught off guard and wanted to do something about it. During that time, I launched Ecomatic as a blog just to kind of get the word out about sustainable travel, but then I also went into a master's program where I dedicated my research to greenwashing in the international hospitality and tourism industry, and specifically how it relates to eco-labeling and unethical online travel agency platforms. So, how we are kind of building up our model instead of just onboarding anyone that is claiming to be sustainable, because I'm sure you all know, working in the sustainable travel industry, that there are a lot of problems within it specifically. In terms of online travel agencies, it can be really unfair to smaller and local businesses, especially when you're putting corporate money into it, where we are really looking to empower the local businesses and kind of put everyone on an even playing field. We look into sustainability similar to how everyone else is. We look into environmental, sociocultural, economic, supply chain, and future goals. But to be a part of the platform, they have to be locally owned or have a mission in place to make an impact in the world through their business operations. And then we also understand that sustainability looks different in every part of the world. So we work with local tourism boards to kind of adapt what sustainability looks like in the destination based off of the local market conditions and the local laws. And then lastly, with eco labels, there are so many out there, and I'm not discrediting them. I think they're a really great benchmarking tool, but there's a lot of problems. There's over 300, so which ones are trustworthy? They can be really challenging for small businesses to go through, especially on a local scale and meeting international demands. And then a lot of businesses can also see them as a greenwashing opportunity. So with all these results, I developed Ecomatic's business model, and we developed this destination partnership model. So what we've been doing, and my title kind of gave it away, we got picked up by Dubai Tourism to kind of launch this, but we're working with destinations to adapt what sustainability looks like within the destination, like I had said earlier, to bring in the local market conditions and the local laws, take into consideration what the cultural influences are on the destination, etc. So what we've been doing with Dubai is that, and then we've been researching and identifying the different accommodations, experiences, shops and eateries, and travel curators and solutions that are in the destination. Step 2, which is what I'm in the middle of right now, I've been on the ground and I've been meeting with the businesses. I've been interviewing the founders and the business owners. We are going through their environmental, sociocultural, economic, supply chain, and future goals. And we are working with local production companies. We're working with the universities, so the students are following us. We are working with consultants so that we can have jobs and job creation, as well as employable skills for the youth. Once we have gathered all of those, and we have about 40 in Dubai so far, aiming for about 50, we're going to launch and promote these community hubs. And through the launch of these community hubs, we are working with Dubai Tourism to kind of start to promote tourism and what it looks like in their destination. And then through the promotion of the tourism board, through us and the businesses, it's meant to inspire the surrounding region and the businesses that want to be involved, and so that we can start to share the education and the promotional material, or in the sustainability material that we've put together with the rest of the businesses that want to go along on this sustainability journey. So these are some of the businesses we've been working with in Dubai, and right before I came here, I got word that we're also going to be working with Abu Dhabi, which is exciting. So we are mainly working with more local and independent operators. On the top left, that's Raw Coffee Company. They source like every coffee bean that comes through their door. They really work with local farmers and to curate more have an ethical supply chain around the world. We're uplifting more cultural experiences. On the top right is SMCCU, which is a cross-cultural understanding center, so travelers can really go and support and learn more about Emirati culture. And of course, there's ethical desert safaris and all that fun stuff if you haven't been to Dubai. It's a very interesting place. I've only been there for 3 months, but it's been a very exciting journey so far. But really what we're trying to do is develop this destination partnership. Once we launch this community hub, is then have all these localized conversations but bring them into a global scale. So we want to showcase that sustainability can be present in any destination, and we also want to unite these local conversations and bring them to a global scale so that every business can start to have knowledge sharing and also bring light to the different initiatives that are going on in each destination. So yeah, that is Ecomatic. Thank you. If you want to contact me, there's my contact and Instagram, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Also a short presentation, so some extra time later for Q&A. This brings us now to the last presentation, to Elisabeth Bauchwitz, and I'm terribly sorry that I didn't mention you in the intro, so it's not excusable, but I hope you can accept my apology. You will, together with Malu Mayorga, will join you here on stage, and both of you will talk about the Del Turismo project in Brazil that you are working with. The program is based on fostering and enhancing the dialogue between the local government, entrepreneurs, and the civil society. And it further aims to develop local tourism based on a sustainable and long-term strategy which strengthens the local economy and improves the quality of the residents. So you are also quite experienced, over 20 years in business with as a consultant, and now working as a technical advisor also for the German company BBW. And Malu, who has worked with Green Destination, with the START program and the Good Travel Guide. You both please welcome on stage. So we see the upper button.
It's working? Yeah. Okay, so good morning, everyone. I am Malu Mayorga. It's a pleasure to be here, especially to talk about a project that inspires us a lot and that give us the possibility to talk about sustainability and bring more sustainability into the management plan of Brazilian destinations.
Good morning. I'm Elisabeth Bauchwitz. Please call me Beth, okay? I was born in Argentina, and I'm living in Brazil since I was a child. I've been working with tourism for a long time. Now I work as a consultant for Institute Del and in Brazil and BBW International in Germany. I was Secretary of Tourism in Praia da Pipa Beach in Brazil, which was appointed as one of the 10 best beaches in the world by TripAdvisor. Let's start. So our Del journey, in 2012, it was born the first Del program in the city of Freiburg in the Santa Catarina state. After 5 years, a cooperation between FACISC in Santa Catarina and SENAC in Rio Grande do Norte started. After 1 year, this agreement was formalized. But in the Rio Grande do Norte state, there is a strong touristic vocation. So the Del Turismo was founded. In 2019, the Del Turismo started really in the Rio Grande do Norte, and our network spread it. I will show you the next slide. In 2020, we started partnership with a Green Destination, and in 2021, with a Good Seal program, which we'll talk later.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about goals. So we created the program with the goal of developing tourism with a long-term strategy and something that could be beneficial for the community. So giving them the voice and also hearing what they want and what they wish in their destination. And obviously consecutively putting an approach into the economy, the local economy. And I think our main strategy rely on cooperation, and I think this is our greatest strength. So what we do, we make some cooperation all over Brazil. You know that Brazil is a huge country, and we rely on those partners that we make. It could be Federação, which is like organization that really knows each one of the regions. And we seek organizations that really understand the reality of each region, so we can approach them and we can bring them close to us, and obviously we can get close to the region and to the reality of the region, the municipality, just to understand the reality of the place, what are their weaknesses, what are their aims, what they are seeking, and what they want to develop in terms of sustainability and obviously tourism in their municipalities and in their location. So we think this is our greatest strength, because when we talk about sustainability, we know that we need to understand the local community. We need to have this a very clear perception on what they want to develop in the country. And we also have some cooperation with international organizations such as BBW International and the German cooperation that also helps us and push us further to seek for more innovation and to know good practices stories all over the world.
So where we act now, we have in Brazil 5 regions. We are already in the 5 regions and 14 destinations. Our guiding principle, we work with diversification. So we join the primary and the secondary sector, sustainability, product policy, protagonism of the actors. This for me is the principle, you know. As a film, we have the main actor and the supporting actor. Here, our main actors is the community and the civil society. And we join everybody and with the stakeholders, and we work together. I don't know in your country, but in Brazil, when we change the major of the government, the programs and the project stops. So when you work and you involve the community, then we have the continuity. That's why Del Turismo has persisted.
And in the beginning of the project, we were trying to find a partner, or a partner that could help us with their expertise on sustainability and management of destinations. And we found out Green Destinations. Happily, you can go to the next one. Yeah. You can go to the next one. Yeah. Yeah, and how we work with them. Obviously, we work with their programs, with the certification program, and also with the business program. But I think the core element of all is using their criteria as our guidelines. So, which give us a really clear understanding on what we need to focus on each one of the regions and how we should develop sustainability in each one of the municipalities. So the criteria of Green Destination, they works as a compass for us to understand if that particular destination is doing good in terms of destination management or social well-being or environment and climate. And with that, we can understand where to put our energy, where to focus, and what we should be promoting and highlighting in that particular destination. So yeah, what is the approach that we have? So basically, as I said, we have the certification program, we have the business certification program, but we use the top 100 as the first step, which is just the first step to understand and to make sure that all the destinations understand what is sustainability and start to like warming up giants to really understand what is like the principles of sustainability. And then we start actions to make them better understand what is sustainability, because we know that is a huge term and it englobes a lot of things. So we start making some actions so they are prepared to the certification. And obviously we know that a sustainable destination is not sustainable if there is no engagement of the businesses, the local businesses. So we also do this work together with the local businesses, getting them engaged and getting them understand what is sustainability and helping the destination to better develop sustainability into their daily practices. And well, I'm going to go very quickly over here. So we have more than 20 destinations that already participated in the top 100. You can move. We have 2 destinations that are already certified by Green Destinations with Silver Award, both of them. And we even started developing our own branding for the business certification. So we have our own seal, which kind of makes more easy for us to for them to understand what is the seal and what is the importance of it. And we are kickstarting this process of certification, of business certification throughout the whole country. We're gonna jump this, and we have a surprise for you. Not a surprise, but I think it's a really exciting thing for us, especially in the South American people. You want to tell, Betty?
Sí. Green Destinations America Latina. You are all invited. We wait you in Brazil, in the Santa Catarina state, from 5 to June. Thank you very much. And thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, the idea over here is bringing also the Green Destinations Day to Latin America, getting more Latin American people involved into sustainability, because we know that we have beautiful places over there, beautiful destinations that are also seeking for sustainability. So yeah, it's bringing everybody together just to talk about sustainability. Thank you. We hope you could also join also there. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for this nice presentation and a nice surprise in the end. We'll see how many will come, but it's very interesting to see that, and I wish you good luck already now that will succeed well. I also have the first question now, because now we have the Q&A session starting. And I have a question to you both, and maybe the others might also have something to say about their experience. You talked about convincing the businesses, working them to be included. What are the obstacles that you have there, the main obstacles? You have a lot of resistors. What are you fighting with, please? And the others might want to say something and that's on well after that. Please.
It's funny because yesterday we were talking about this, and I think the main challenge is getting them to understand what is sustainability and what are the benefits of taking a certification, or what is the benefits of becoming sustainable. Because nowadays we know that when we talk about sustainability for entrepreneurs or businesses, they are very afraid of costs, of financially efforts that they will need to have. So I think this is the main challenge over here, like how we should better educate and create awareness and bring and transfer them the knowledge of sustainability and what could be the benefits of sustainability of this turning point, you know. So I think this is the main challenge. Also, yeah, as yesterday we were talking with a lot of representatives from Green Destinations, and I think this is a challenge all over the world, not just in Brazil. But yeah, we need to start like little by little, little steps, baby steps to try to educate them and make them understand the benefits of sustainability and how they can perpetuate their businesses if they have this sustainability responsible mentality. So yeah, I would say that.
Yes, please.
Which is very interesting that you're talking about the cost of local businesses, because, and then you were talking about awareness of sustainability. What we see now in Europe, because of the energy prices, people do want to get sustainable measures, but the awareness of being sustainable, what it really means, needs a lot of effort, education, and from our side, I think, as we're sitting here. Thank you.
Thank you. How is it in your region, for example, Caucasia? Do you have special resistors there, or is it? How do you find it? Is it easy or very difficult to involve them?
Actually, in Central Asia, it's also very different. For example, with the training in Kyrgyzstan, it was easier than in Kazakhstan, simply because I think the local tour operators, for example, felt already the pressure from the European tour operators, whereas in Kazakhstan, we've been working also with travel agents who are sending people abroad, so they have a very different perspective. But another thing, not necessarily in the region, but I think an issue is, I had a meeting yesterday with a friend of mine, Tina, the manager of Alternative Athens, and she really wants to do more. The question is, she's overwhelmed and she doesn't understand. We are overcomplicating things, and it's just a lot, especially on small operators, small hotels. They are very busy. They don't have even 5 hours to dive into sustainable tourism. They have half an hour maximum. So we need to learn how to get to them quickly with one-page instruction what to do instead of 3 days conference. So I think having a plain language and very simple steps and solution is another challenge, how we can communicate it better.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Darren, how is it on Mauritius? Have you similar problems, and how do you approach them?
Yes, absolutely. I believe that the COVID also has not played the right direction where we were heading. Because when we started in 2018. I think that we would have done a lot more progress. But the COVID came, and then with operators being on a stop for nearly 2 years. And when we speak about sustainability, it goes together with refinancing and reinvestment. And when we speak about sustainability also, is that some of the activities will have to stop, right? So we need to see alternative livelihoods for these people so that they can readapt and get another job. And for that being, we need to also train them. So it takes some time. So COVID right now has not played the way that we wanted it to be. But of course, it is a journey, sustainability, and we want that everyone get on board. And those where there is resistance, of course, we don't want that they lose completely their job, but we need to find something else that they can do.
Yeah, I agree. COVID is a big problem that we face, and we have to see how long it will keep us still busy. And at the same time, we have growing problems like you talked about the wildfires, Claudia, that you are facing, that will become more. Does that have an effect on the business, on the communities you work with, that they say maybe sustainability is not that important, or it becomes more important now when we see this changing of the climate? I will take you next.
It's critical. I mean, as we look at climate change, and especially in an agricultural community, that we are 100%, our economy is driven by our capacity to grow things. If these wildfires continue, and they have, it changes everything. It changes the way people live in Sonoma County. It changes the way people work in Sonoma County. It changes the way it changes from our standpoint, from a tourism standpoint. It totally shifts the way we talk about and the time of the year we get people to come to Sonoma County. The fall used to be this beautiful time, this harvest season. It just had a lot going for it. But now we're saying, especially for long-haul travelers, if you're coming to Sonoma County from Europe, don't come in the fall. We cannot be reliant on that time of the year for you. So it really does shift everything in Sonoma County, and we hate to have Mother Nature be so much a driver of the way we live our lives, but definitely these wildfires and this ongoing climate change. It's also shifting from an agricultural standpoint when and how, what types of grapes we grow in Sonoma County. It's changing, that whole, it's so reliant on that ecosystem to be able to produce the world-class wines that we have. So it changes everything. Yeah. And so we cannot continue on we can bury our heads in the sand and pretend it's not going to change things, or we can be really bold and progressive and move forward in a substantive way, and I'm hoping that's what we're doing.
Okay, when you say to long-haul travelers not to come, so it means you're focusing more on the local tourism.
Absolutely. During this historically our high season in Sonoma County, we are saying to the locals, those in San Francisco and some of the surrounding areas, I mean, it comes down to the point where you look up into the sky, and if you see smoke, you don't travel. If you don't see smoke, you can get in your car and go. But otherwise, we focus on the spring. The spring is another glorious time in Sonoma County, but we're really trying to shift that, because I don't want people to come into Sonoma County and have an experience, a wildfire, which for the past 3 years, that's been our fall experience.
Yeah, I understand. And my wife, she's coming from Spain, and every time she hears a helicopter in Spain, she gets curious, because that means always like there must be a fire somewhere.
Yeah, it is. It changes the way you live your life.
Yeah. Gergana, you had the microphone. You wanted to say something.
Yes, I wanted to comment about how we include more and how we make sustainability more accessible. First, we as travel professionals need to identify what are the easy things to do. And there's so many things that actually are cost saving. So while very often we hear, yes, it's more expensive, including going through certification, sustainability can be actually saving money. So it is our responsibility to be communicating what are these easy first steps, that first mile that you need to walk to start saving, so that you get to the aha moment. It is true that now through COVID, more advanced economies have allocated grants through which they have been able to support the businesses to make transformation in their business model. I was just speaking with Claudia from Stockholm, and she mentioned that has been very successful. And there, at the same time, we could hear from the Mauritius that there are different funding programs that can also dedicate the effort in this direction, and just start with these first small steps, which are saving money. And as we mentioned, now people are looking for ways to save also on energy, because the bills, or applying different tactics that can again save money, and this would bring more decreasing the carbon footprint. So.
Yeah.
Yes, because I think it's also lobby required. There are a lot of governments, municipalities who are willing to create some funding, but also, for example, I know from Uzbekistan, and I think it's marvelous that their government says we have big problems. We are going to embrace a program like eco schools for the whole country. We're funding it, and we're also going to look into certification for businesses for sustainable tourism. And that's a government who's taking responsibility. So the lobby is also needed, I think, from us. Thank you.
Yeah, that might be also another reason that we maybe focus more, or people focus more on travel in their own country, on the near surrounding, which was also part of your presentation. Do you think in general you, but also the others maybe, that this staycation, this holiday at home, is something that will last, or when the situation gets better, not even pandemic, also other problems, that people will go back to international travel as before, or will we stay?
I think these staycations are being bigger, but as I said in my presentation, the Dutch are everywhere, and they are everywhere again. We have big problems at Schiphol Airport for traveling. I think I waited 3 hours in line for security to come here. So we're back on going everywhere, and I'm not sure that's a good thing, but...
So this one switches off automatically all the time. What is the problems you are facing in Dubai? Maybe especially also, I mean, if you come as a young woman, do you get the attention that you should get there, or is there a big of resistance? And what are in general, besides this, the main obstacles that you face there?
So I think the number one question before I went to Dubai was, why Dubai? Not many people see the destination as sustainable, but we're really trying to bring a voice to the businesses that are doing good things and that are willing to make an impact and implement these sustainable practices in their business operations. I think knowledge about sustainability is still very young there, but the government and the tourism authority there is pouring different funds and investment into sustainable tourism and sustainability in general to kind of advance the destination. So it's a really powerful time to be there. Resounding, since I work with mainly businesses that are already putting sustainability in place from their own self-motivation, and they're already working on like a very local aspect. I think that they are more concerned about also connecting with a like-minded market of travelers who are also motivated to make an impact with their travel. And so it's finding that connection and how they can do that.
Okay, thank you. I have one more question to you. You were a bit critical about the certification schemes in your presentation, and being here working for a certification scheme, I would like to go a little bit into that. Wouldn't it be maybe make sense if we have so many that we focus on those who really are trustworthy and make them more known and use them more, so that we come a little bit away from this wide pool of 300 plus certifications and no one knows which is trustworthy and which is not?
Yes, and that was one of my takeaways from my dissertation and the research, is that it has to be more well known about which ones are actually credible and like why they are credible and what they're doing to make a change. And I've had really great conversations with Malu about green destinations and how they're making it more accessible to more local businesses and how you can get the education out there. But I think a huge problem right now is also, I talk a lot about the consumer side of things, is that if you're approaching it and there's over 300 in the travel and tourism space alone, like how are you supposed to differentiate which one is not? And so it's also educating as much on the industry side as it is on the consumer and traveler perspective as well.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Yes, of course, you can add something.
If I would like to add something to the certifications. I agree that there's a lot of issues, and even being in a green key certified hotel, we've already noticed, at least yesterday, today it's improved, plastic issue, waste issue, and I think that everyone knows that sustainability certification with the GST standards does not guarantee solving the problem. And many hotels and tour companies get something on paper and the real change is not happening. Still, the certifications help manage the business better. I think this is the way how to approach it. So we are not solving the problem, but we are definitely going there. There's a new trend in certification, and I think it will be the future. These are not the management-based certifications, but micro-certifications focusing on solving the issues. So there is a pledge on food waste, which is focused on food waste, so really working much deeper with an issue. There's also SUP-free micro-certification for hotels that completely eliminated single-use plastics. So there are also new certifications approaches. Of course, definitely consumers need to be more educated. But yeah, there's an issue that we have to work on this in terms of certification, because right now the certifications for me are not credible. On one hand, on the other hand, they seem to be too complicated for small businesses. So there is a work to be done in this sphere.
Okay, thank you very much.
Can I add?
Yep, you want? Yes, please.
Just to add to this, that's why my presentation was sustainability by default, how we plan it so that we actually don't leave it to the traveler to decide and to choose the easy option of, okay, single-use plastic. Well, how difficult it is to bring your water bottle, for example. Yep. So, call to action.
Okay, that was a final word, I would say. It was a good final work. Our time is over, so I want to say thank you very much for all of you attendees here, and thank you much for your very interesting presentations and the answers that you gave to the questions. And I hope you will have some more successful days here, a lot of networking talks, and yeah, by this, thank you very much all.
One final announcement for lunch. It's served both in the place where we had the coffee break and in the lunchroom next to the lobby. So you have two choices where to have your lunch. Enjoy. Co-founder of Trevindi. You've been able to see, for those of you this morning joined the session, what she's all up to. But today she's going to host this session. So welcome to Anula.
Hello, everyone. Again, I hope you had a good lunch. You have a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm to listen to our amazing speakers and learn about more strategies for sustainable development in destinations and regions. Normally I complain at ITB that we have too many white men sitting, and I have a beautiful panel of only ladies, so we need to work on the gender balance, but I think we are good for now. So thank you very much. We have many speakers, 7, and let me introduce you to the speakers briefly. I have a short note. So we'll start with Marian Nuvelart, Candice Strauss, Mira Zovko, Imbi Lepik-Martinson, Kamila Zedental, Marta Mills, that's easy, Marta is Polish, Milena Nikolova, and that's it. So we will be introducing you to the panelists one by one. And we are starting with Marian Nuvelart from Belgium. Marian is the Research and Sustainability Coordinator at Visit Flanders. And Marian is coming to us with a very important topic, which we touched on before, how to take high-level sustainability concepts and the concept of travel for tomorrow into practical steps and solutions. Marian, please welcome to the stage.
Hi, can everyone understand me? It's a bit, yes, I'm over here next to the laptop. Well, I'll put it like this. Well, so, yes, hi, I'm Marianne. I'm a researcher from Visit Flanders. Visit Flanders is the tourism organization of, well, let's say half of Belgium. So it's not a very large area, such as, let's say, Montana. But hey, it's always fun to come over and, of course, grab a beer. Besides gathering data, tourism data, I'm also the sustainability coordinator at Visit Flanders. Since June, it's a completely new function. It hasn't been done before, and I have to say that it's great to take these first steps. And I would like to tell you a bit more today about how we went from a, let's say, a high-level idea, a high-level vision to, yes, well, real action in sustainability. So, yeah, here it is, the thing. Oh, no, it goes back. It should be like this. Ah, it's working here. Yeah. All right. So, well, some years ago, let's say 2017, my organization noticed that times were changing. Tourism used to be all about attracting more visitors, and, well, let's be honest, it still is to some extent. However, my organization noticed that there's also another layer, a more, well, another kind of economy that wants to shift from more to better. And yes, that will affect our organization. And also the tourism sector, it will affect the way how we fulfill our task at Visit Flanders. We want tourism to create, to provide more added value for each Flemish citizen, and also to help Flanders to become a flourishing destination. So, to create a new vision, Visit Flanders has organized lots of workshops, meetings, seminars, walking dinners, and we used tons of Post-its. But after talking to hundreds of people, we finally had our new vision. This is it. You can see it here. But I absolutely love the first sentence. They have me there. Tourism becomes a means, not an end. That's for me a very, very important one. But, well, how do we create this balance between citizens, between visitors, the place itself, the businesses? Well, our strategy is based upon 5 key principles. Well, you can see them there. Added value, connection, participation. It's all about innovation as well, and these are very important. And I have to say that I'm very proud that my organization puts these into practice in a very cool way. I only have 10 minutes, can't go into detail right now. But I have to say that also the last one, working on the basis of strategy, knowledge, data, research, is really one of my favorites, of course. That's also the reason why we started writing our sustainability plan. But more, I'll tell you more about it in just a minute. We have 6 teams that connect with the DNA of Flanders that we work with. You can see them right there. These themes, they're interconnected. They're not separate islands. We combine them wherever we can. For example, we link heritage venues to the organization of conferences, for example. We do not focus on specific cities or regions. We create the storylines that we can implement in Flanders. And here you can see an example for heritage. For example, we have 5 storylines. Our Flemish masters, our castles, religious heritage, of course the war. And also we have some lovely urban heritage. That's just an example. Nonetheless, we have gathered a lot of data, and they also told us something else. Yes, we have a beautiful vision, but according to the Global Destination Sustainability Index, the GDS index, which might be known to you, they didn't think so. They thought it was not enough, and we scored very low in the ranking. And why was that? because we have this beautiful vision. Well, it turns out we didn't have a sustainability plan. We did not have a plan for the future when it comes to ecological impact, for example. And that's when we decided to create a plan with real SMART goals, with action plans, and also a design for implementing those actions, not only for our own internal organization, but also for the destination and how we can support it. We started from zero, well, almost zero, because it turned out to be very complex. Sustainability in tourism, what does that mean? And even more, what can a DMO do? I have to tell you, we had some very interesting conversations among colleagues, but luckily we also had data, we had research. We also asked our partners about their sustainability plans, but unfortunately they were about to ask us the very same thing. So, but we did read a lot of plans of other destinations, plans, pledges, strategies. We found a lot of very nice examples, a lot of inspiration, but we also learned that there's absolutely no standard when it comes to writing a sustainability plan as a destination. My goodness, it's very, very difficult. But okay, we managed to choose the aspects that we wanted to work on in the future. We created an ambition for each of them. And then step 3 and 4, was absolutely wonderful, because we knew that if we wanted to write a plan with real SMART goals, we needed a set of strong indicators that allowed us to set the right goals, to measure the success, but also to create a real action plan that can be implemented in our organization. So we ended up with 61 actions. And that was the end of it. No, actually, it was the start, because now we could really tell our partners and the rest of the world what we wanted to do as an organization. That's very important. We needed something very specific to tell. Now we can say, dear partners, this is what we want to achieve in the next few years. And you see that well, it's a bit small to read, but I encourage you to read the whole plan, which is also on our website. We have a lot of aspects to work on. We still have a very long way to go. It's not ready by tomorrow, and it will never be, actually. But making it tangible was very important, and especially for our own colleagues. They also needed to know where we want to go. Well, working with sustainability, this plan allowed us to find some kind of place in an international network as well. For example, we signed the Glasgow Declaration in June, which was a very big step for us. We also gave some input for the transition pathway for tourism on European level. And we also still gain a lot of insights from the GDS index, for example. So is the plan perfect? Absolutely not. But it's a first step. We still need to implement the SDGs. We need to write better, sharper ambitions on some points where we can. And we still need to implement sustainability in our organization, which is a very difficult exercise, because it should not be just one person saying that, oh, you need to do something about sustainability. No, it's the whole organization that needs to work with it. So we're not done yet, but as I said, we took the first step and we won't stop anymore. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Marianne. I think it's very important to hear that it's a long way to go with many small steps, and we are not perfect, and we're never going to be perfect, because sustainability and standards are changing. So there is still every time room for improvement. So thank you for this presentation. The next one will have Candice Strauss. And well, there are many different important stakeholders in the tourism sector. Candice will talk about collaboration for collective impact and how a DMO is the connective tissue and key to success. I just want to say that Candice is VP Partnerships and Community Engagement at Wonder and Project Manager at Montana's Transformative Tourism Development.
That's okay. Thank you all for having me here today as we celebrate World Tourism Day in Athens, one of my most favorite cities in the entire world. So honored to be here. I own Women of Wonderland. It's a tourism consultancy, and I am working with the state of Montana on developing its tourism plan. Hit the button. Oh, there we go. Very good. And in addition, I'm Vice President of Partnerships and Community Development with Wander, which is a destination mapping platform where we believe that a visitor experience, an amazing visitor experience, begins with a map. And that if a map is worth 1,000 words, or if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then a map is worth 1,000,000. Lastly, I am also a recovering, this clicker is really problematic, but anyway, yeah, speeding way ahead.
Can we get some technical assistance?
Hold on, let me back it up. There we go. It's very sensitive. So just, but I'm not touching it and it's moving ahead. So there's a gremlin. I'm gonna put it down and see what happens. There we go. So I am also a recovering president and CEO of 2 different destination marketing, management, and then what I will call a third evolution that I hope you don't get to is a mitigation organization. First, I was in Big Sky, Montana, which is at the west entrance of Yellowstone National Park, America's first national park. Maybe some of you have seen the TV show Yellowstone that's about to embark on its 5th season with Kevin Costner. It's our most amazing national park in the United States. And this past year, we had a 500-year historic flooding event. And so as we talk about resiliency and sustainable tourism, my communities following COVID are still experiencing that today. Let's see if I can get this to work. In Sedona, Arizona, what this map shows, and like we said, we believe that a map really does provide the 1,000,000 worth of words. So Sedona is an amazing destination with red rocks. As you can see, the innermost circle is the actual city of Sedona. As you get to that second circle, we go to the greater Sedona destination, which encompasses not only the city, but various unincorporated areas, straddles 2 counties, and then that last circle goes out to the Sedona Verde Valley. And so for a traveling visitor, they don't understand these geopolitical boundaries and what they mean. However, as DMOs, we are constantly struggling with our funding and our survival as an organization based on these lines drawn on this map. So it is a lot of friction there that exists. And that is what I want to talk about today, is how do we wipe away these lines on this map and create collaborative partnerships that really allow us as an organization, as a destination, and as a community to thrive. So we're going to begin with, I'm going to be very American. If my little clicker stops abusing me. And I want to do a top 10 list of issues facing sustainable tourism development. And so I'm going to ask you all to participate because everybody just sits here and very quiet. And I know you just had lunch and probably food coma. But so I want you to raise your hands when I ask the question, please, and thank you. So first of all, top 10 issues facing sustainable tourism development. Who in here has had an identity crisis with who your true destination is? Raise your hands. My map, as you just saw with Sedona, who are we? Are we the city of Sedona? They gave us our funding, so they thought we were. Are we greater Sedona? Those in unincorporated areas where all my visitors were coming and spending time and money, they thought they were. And then the greater Verde Valley, which Sedona is a part of, that was quite a bit a part of our disbursement strategies as we tried to disseminate our tourism of 3 million visitors to a community of only 9,600 people. throughout the course of the year. So that's the first one. So in response to that identity crisis and what we saw of becoming 3.5 million visitors coming to our small town, where we literally have one road in and one road out, the city of Sedona, along with the Bureau, Arizona State University, and Nichols Tourism Group, drafted and adopted the first sustainable tourism plan in the state of Arizona in 2019. And then the little thing called COVID hit. And like most people, we cratered in March and April of that year. However, in May, we rebounded just as drastically and dramatically. And so the over-tourism that we experienced from then until today and still ongoing due to the pursuit of the outdoors by all of the Americans who were trying to get out of their urban centers and really be outside and enjoy different destinations became extremely overwhelming and continues today. So this plan was then adopted as a result. Yes. So we had, who in their destination has anti-tourism sentiment? Number 9 in the top 10 list of how to overcome sustainable destination. So we needed to then build a sense of community pride. So this is really 9 and 8 combined together. This anti-tourism sentiment, and Sedona, for many of you, if you do not know it, it was born a destination. It really should be a national park and should have been protected just like Grand Canyon, which is about 2 hours north of us. So we're also a gateway community to a major national park there. However, it resides along a river. And so with that river came some people who moved there. However, Sedona, the namesake, she was the first hostess with the mostest in Sedona, welcoming travelers on their path, going from A to B, bringing them into her home, giving them food. And so that is truly our DNA, and we are a destination. However, those people who had come to visit and then came back to live, as many of us see, then all of a sudden wanted that door shut and didn't want anyone else to come. And so there is a true groundswell of anti-tourism sentiment. In addition, due to some horrific housing prices, where an average median home in Sedona is now upwards of $1 million, I have no workforce that lives in that marketplace. 90% of my workers were commuting in on a daily basis to our destination. So as we talk about how do we engage our citizenry in the conversation around tourism, I also, in the spirit of collaboration, encourage you to include those people who are not in that community, because who's going to represent and speak for them if you do not? So my workers, for example, we very much had to be the voice of those individuals. Okay, how about some, this continues the anti-tourism sentiment, building a sense of community pride, where we held town halls. This was called our Community Pulse, and we gathered major stakeholders from the cities, the counties, our airports. Our airport in Sedona is 2 hours away. Our Department of Transportation, some of our nonprofits that were very vocal, our college that resides in Market, and really started having twice a year conversations about how we were handling and dealing with tourism in the marketplace. Trailhead congestion. Who has trailhead congestion in their destination? We did as well. And so these, I decided not to show the awful images, but instead the successful images of programs put in place to address those issues. And so this is with our Sedona Red Rock Trail Fund and our U.S. Forest Service Ranger, whereby we raised over $100,000 a year that we as the Bureau, then working with our private businesses, matched with the city and gave for trail improvements, which all residents benefited from as well as visitors. How about traffic? As I was talking about, one road in, one road out. Traffic, yes, yeah, okay. Some people are nodding, some people are in a food coma. Okay, so while I was there with a new public transit administrator, within his first 3 months, he came from the Monterey Coast. He instituted trailhead shuttles to our 5 most trafficked trailheads, and we were the communication partner on that to visitors as well as residents. And in its first month of service, it was equivalent to providing service to the LA coast of what they carry in passengers in that first month time period. So there was fear, who will use it, who will take advantage of it, who will not. And it was adopted very well, and it's running spectacularly now. But again, it goes across destination bounds with respect to a geopolitical map, but it is covering the destination. How about those novice travelers that we heard Claudia in the earlier session talk about? New people to the outdoors who don't know how to treat our natural places with respect. Trash, unfortunately going to the bathroom on our trails, it just became absolutely horrific. So I actually instituted not only communications with partners like Leave No Trace, Recreate Responsibly, but also I put trash service in on trailheads. I had cleaning toilets put in at trailheads as we worked with our federal land management agencies to get that put in for a longer term. This is just a little bit more on that with the Sedona Secret 7. Over tourism, how do we distribute those place consumers across our destination? The Secret 7 were the less trodden trails. There were also 7 total categories where we gave kind of what would be local tips and secrets to those coming to the destination that were not the over tourism. This one, number 3, is conflict among our place consumers, motorized versus hiking trails, and put together a true collaboration with, as you can see here, all of our representatives. And then I'm being told I have to go. My last one is noise abatement with our helicopter tour operators. Someone had mentioned from Spain and helicopters flying over made them think of fire. In Sedona, it's all the tours over Sedona, and our residents were very upset. So with that, I would encourage you to work across your destination, community leaders, for collaboration for better collective impact. And thank you.
That was impressive, right? The amount of work implemented. So congratulations, and I think we are all inspired of what else we can do in our destinations. And now we are here from Croatia, and Mira Zovko, who represents sustainability in tourism at the Ministry of Tourism and Sport in Croatia. And Mira will bring to us a new and different topic, also very important recently, key challenges of tourism sustainability with an emphasis on waste management from the Croatian case study. So, welcome.